Hello there.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the D&D Bros. I'm Dungeon Master Dev,
Dungeon Master Dust.
and neither one of us has a controller in our hands. What's that about?
I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't know what to do with my hands. Okay, so, all right, well, hey, everybody. We're so glad to have you all here. This is actually a new thing for us to finally venture into. Much as the name of our stream implies.
So nervous.
I know.
I'm a
little nervous. Much as the name of our stream implies, we are D&D Bros. Now, of course, that could also mean the fact that I am Dev and this is Dust, but it also implies the fact that we are huge...
4-star says Dust. Keep those hands where I can see them, lol.
It also implies the fact that we love D&D, and here we are. It's finally time to do this. We're going to talk some D&D tonight, you guys. This is in preparation for my game that we'll be doing live. And Dust was like, hey, what if I interviewed you about D&D stuff? That'd be fun, right?
People will like that, right?
People will like that, right?
We hope.
I don't know.
Just talking to ourselves?
Yeah, we'll just talk for 3 hours. Not much difference except for me dying over and over in an Elden Ring or something, but that's fine. So here we are. This is going to be a very loose form sort of stream. Part of it's because we're going to be recording this for our VOD to go on YouTube, but any topic we come across, please, you guys, throw your questions in the chat. If you need clarifications or just want to know our thoughts and opinions on something, please let us know. We'd be happy to get into it. So without further ado, happy Friday Eve.
I have literally not been nervous to stream since
I know.
September.
Episode 1, we were fine. I mean, we were a little shaky, but here we're like, ah! So with that, it's basically Dust's turn to do all the talking. Dust?
And we know how good I am at that.
He's so good at it.
All right. So I wrote 14 pages worth of stuff to ask Dev. And hopefully you guys also will chip in and talk to him as well. But first off, introductions. What is Dungeons and Dragons?
That's an excellent question. I don't know. Just kidding.
Where's my player's handbook?
Where's my player's handbook? It's D&D is shorthand for Dungeons and Dragons, which is a tabletop role-playing game. For anyone who has been alive over the course of the last 40, 50-ish years, would have probably heard the term D&D or Dungeons and Dragons. And it is one of my most very favorite tabletop role-playing games.
Okay. Very nice. Immediate question.
Yes.
From Tramothy.
Yes.
How long have you and Dust played together?
Oh, man. Unfortunately, I wish we could say a longer time, but 2 years?
2 years? 2 or 3 years? How long have I been here?
Yes.
Almost 4 years. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, longer than I thought. Okay. So we've been playing for a while together.
Yeah, 4 years.
Then, yeah? I've mostly been the DM in a lot of it. You've had 2 modules that you've run.
Yes.
And we kind of started... Yeah.
Pre-made. My first experience with you as a DM was actually when we did the Western.
Oh, the Weird Western.
Yeah, where I kind of came into your game midway.
Yeah, that was... I can't remember the name of that game now. But it was based off of the SRD-20.
Yeah.
So, that was still fun, though.
That was fun. I had a great time, and I was just like... And then we got into an actual, 5e D&D campaign. We did that. We did another... No, we did a 3.5.
We did a 3.5.
Started that.
About that long.
And then we went back into a 5e, and then our wives got involved in our 5e.
Yep.
And it got a lot bigger. So
then we got into Star Wars.
We did the Star Wars one, which was a lot of fun as well.
Yeah.
I really liked that one.
Are you good with shouties or keep that? Oh, go. Shouties all day. If we need to, yeah.
All day.
All day. Let's give shout outs to people who are streamers in here, because if you're not streaming, you're hanging out with us, we want to make sure you're at least...
Oh, do we have it all set up for this layout? I don't know if we do. I can hear
I
it.
hear it.
Freaks
Here,
me out,
actually.
homie.
Oh, damn it.
Freaks me out, homie.
That's our boy Avocado.
Multi-swings. Ow!
Oh, the dancer. I love that fight.
Remember almost first timing the dancer?
Almost. We were so drunk, though.
We were very inebriated.
Oh, okay.
That's our boy Avocado,
Yeah,
who
nice
does
one.
all the cool Souls-like streams and also does impressive Fallout streams. So please make sure you go give him a follow. Just a really cool dude.
Don't ask me how I didn't get hit, but I did.
All right.
Let's finish this.
Let's bust out some questions and then we'll
Yeah.
go to these questions. So,
I don't know, man.
what are the 3 pillars
I feel like listening to
of
this track
D&D?
right now. I gotta get so much better at this game, dude. Just kidding.
That is an excellent question.
We don't need to get any better. My skill level is totally
For you.
No different.
For me,
What are
yeah.
you talking about?
Okay. Sorry, I got slightly distracted. Please repeat that question.
The 3 pillars of Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, so and let me also preface this. That is an excellent question. Thank you for asking it. And also, anything we talk about tonight is of our opinions. By no means is anything that we say set in stone. Please know that this is just 2 guys who happen to be dungeon masters and their personal opinions on things.
And
That
we're
being
nerdy
said,
as fuck.
so that being said, my top 3 pillars that I would say, like the absolute 3 pinnacles, is group dynamic, the chosen system of the game you intend to play, and the genuine understanding of shared imagination.
Yeah. And your games are very heavily RP, get into the story. Like, it's not a meat grinder.
No, I don't run meat grinder campaigns. I'm very much the episodic, epic tales to be told.
Epic tales to be told. Who is D&D for?
Nerds.
Fucking
No.
nerds.
Nerds? No.
People with D&D shirts.
D&D is for everyone. And I truly do mean that, not even just as like a Saturday morning, after school special or whatever. D&D truly is for everyone. I have played with police officers, nurses, lawyers, people who are entrepreneurs. I have played D&D with literally a stretch of people, both young and old, people who are casual players, while people who are like diehard. D&D is for everyone.
Yeah.
Any tabletop role-playing game, I think, is something that it's not very well known,
Yeah.
and it's, I would say, very trepidatiously explored by new players. But I think when people do experience it, people realize this is a game for everyone.
Yeah. It really is. It
Yeah.
really is. 3 pillars: love, sex, and dragons.
Yes.
You get it.
You get it. You get it.
Satanist. That's who D&D's for.
Satanists.
People who worship the devil. Do you guys have a character you wanted to play again, but never had a chance to?
I would almost say one of my college characters that I used to play, who was a very high level wizard, started out at level 1, but he got to like level 14. This was in D&D 3.5. But if I had to like look at it now and reflect on the entire Rolodex of characters that I've played, I gotta give it to Bolt, man.
I loved Bolt.
That was a good character. That was my human rogue in Dust's Curse of Strahd campaign. Absolutely,
fleshed out character.
yeah. It is so fucking cool. Like, looking back at that game,
Yeah.
and everything that we accomplished from start to finish. Just
Even our characters, like how they kind of meshed
together.
together.
Dope. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we got a first-time chatter.
Hey, first time chatter, Grim Reaper Gaming. Cheers and welcome. Glad to have you here.
Welcome, welcome.
It's a chat and stream.
Also, let's see. So, Dev, I gotta know, what do you think of D&D 1 5.5 6th edition?
I am anxious to see the full details of it. I have kept an arm's length away from it right now, just because I don't want to dilute my thinking with my current writing scheme. I have written the entire campaign for the stream in almost its entirety, and I've tried to maintain that in the 5th edition mindset. So I have seen a little bit. I'm still on the fence. What I will say that I'm disappointed in is that Wizards is releasing the core 3 staggered.
Okay.
So we're getting the player's handbook first,
the Dungeon Master.
then the Dungeon Master's Guide months later, and then the Monster Manual.
Okay.
And I can't get behind that.
Why wouldn't you just, unless they're not done?
That's the thing. If they're not done, wait, fine tune them, tweak
Baldur's
them.
Gate this shit.
Baldur's Gate this
And
shit.
just-
Wait until it's a finished product,
Yeah.
and then release them all together. Release the core 3 together. That's what you always do. You always release the core 3 together.
Has anyone played a Blood Hunter? I tried it at one time,
Ooh.
couldn't get far.
I've never played them. I this is gonna sound mean. They're kind of edgelordy for me. Blood Hunter.
Tonight will be the night.
I am the Blood Hunter. No. Oh, first time chatter.
Let's go.
Hey, Onyx King. Cheers and welcome. Glad to have you here, man.
Eric said, I'm not super experienced yet, and I'm mostly strayed away from magic classes so I can learn more. I can imagine that Paladin would be a rough starting point. Actually, Paladin's not.
Paladin's a very good baseline class to that you can launch from. One, they're very martial heavy, so you've got a lot of really good utility that you can do in combat. You can tank. You can.
It's comfy. I'm gonna.
Oh, dude, totally get comfy with it, yo. Can you cross your legs?
Well, I'm 9 feet tall, so I'm trying.
It helps. It is like I said, it's a martial class. So you've got a lot of cool utility that you can do from a combat perspective. Their paladin-like abilities are a great utility in and out of combat, and their spell list isn't so overwhelming.
It's not.
Yeah.
Because my first class was a Paladin.
Yeah, that's your bread and butter.
That's my bread and butter, and you have spell slots,
Yeah.
but not really. Like, you have smite slots.
You have some spell slots.
Like, there's nothing worse as a paladin actually having to cast a spell, and you're like,
Oh no.
I could have killed somebody with this.
This is a wasted smite, but I guess I'll heal you. I guess.
That's what my lay on hands is for. 3.
3 hit points.
Stop taking hits. Paladin is a pretty good starting point because
That's a great one. Yeah.
you're tanky. You can get in there. You do the damage. It's very good for RP. Because I mean,
Very good for RP.
it's strength and charisma. Like, you can talk to people. You can persuade, intimidate.
They're
like-
sort of like the natural born leaders of a group in a way. And now this all depends on the group dynamic that you do bring to the table. So, and we'll get into that kind of stuff later. But they can be very good group leaders.
the captain,
The captain of the group, if you will. So
the quarterback of the team, third string.
okay. What's next on our list?
What do you need to play D&D? This is just for super new people. What do you need to play D&D?
Hold tight. Answer another question from the audience.
I play Paladin as a self-sufficient tank. Party lets me flee. It makes much. I typically play a Paladin, and if you've ever watched our Dark Souls streams, you'd understand. I am a sword and board motherfucker. Give me a shield. Give me a sword. That's all I need. I'm a front line. Take the hits. I like being that first one into the battle and blocking hits for people. Super RP heavy. I love Paladin. I think Paladins are a great class. I like to call Paladin Diet Fighter Cleric Mix. Yeah, I mean, if you want to play a priest that hits people, that's a Paladin. 5%. I don't know much about D&D. Just listening to you guys nerd out. It's cool discussion though. I like it. Well, all right, Ricardo, that's why you're here. We're gonna teach you some stuff.
All right. So, please ask that question again.
What do you need to play Dungeons and Dragons?
So, if you're old school like me, what you'll want to have is these fancy books. These books include the Player's Handbook, which features all the major races, the classes, the rules for combat, skills, everything you need to know is in this book. This is the most important book that I would say when it comes to D&D, is the Player's Handbook.
You want to play? That's all
You gotta have
you
this.
You gotta have that.
Next is if you are a dungeon master, a DM, game master, keeper. What else are they called? Other thing.
Guy running game.
Guy running game. The Dungeon Master's Guide. This will feature all the different things that you might need to build a campaign, build a world or a city, build a dungeon and fill it with traps and puzzles and all kinds of cool stuff, as well as everyone's favorite part of D&D, loot.
Yeah. Yeah.
You love loot.
I love loot. I love that.
And then one of my personal favorites, the Monster Manual. What else is needed but to have someone fight something large and scary and potentially life-ending?
If people are pissing you off, you just start flipping through that, see what you can find.
Yeah, you gonna mouth off? Let's see. Let's go down the alphabetical doom.
A dragon turtle. There we go.
So those are the 3 main books that you need. You will also need a set of dice. The set comes in a set of 7, which features a D20. Well, when we say D number, that is basically the number of sides that the dice has. So, for instance, probably the most important of the D&D 5th edition is the D20. This is a 20-sided die numbering 1 through 20. And then you're going to have your others like a set of D10s, a D4, a D6, D8. So it runs the gambit from all these different dice that you will need to incorporate to play.
Roll D22 real quick. Let's just see what off camera.
No one's going to believe me if I roll anything good. I rolled a 4. That's horrible.
Dustin luck. That's an 18.
Okay, well, you win. You're the best boy. You are the dungeon boy. And then the last thing you'll need is some pens and paper.
Guys, always remember that.
Oh, we got a...
Oh, shout out! Hang on. Hang on.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Oh, Hexa! Hell yeah.
Hexa!
It's our boy Hexa.
Time
Shout out
up
to
there,
Hexa.
Gerald.
I have a
Like I said,
D100 for
patience
Wild
is
Magic
a
Sorcerer.
virtue.
Yep.
Wait, Gerald.
Which you can use the percentile dice for, but that's in the heavy minutia. The other thing you'll need is going to be pens, paper, and character sheets. Now, there's a myriad of different character sheets. I didn't bring any with me just because it's so easy to say, hey, Google, 5th edition free character sheet. There's a ton of them. There's PDFs that you can fill, that you can just go print them out, however you want to do it. I'm old school. I like to have the actual character sheet in my hand. So those are the only 3 things you need physically. And then aside from that, you need a group of people to sit and play with. And that can be any number of your choosing. I recommend not a huge group on your first time.
What's your limit?
My limit is 6 players.
That's a lot.
That's a lot
That's
of
a lot of
players.
people.
That's a lot of players. That's my limit.
So...
Oh, D&D Beyond. That is an excellent tool to use.
So do you have a favorite set of dice to DM with? Is it that set right there?
No.
You like your
Lapis Lazuli.
That's a word.
I've been slowly collecting precious gemstone dice. I have rose quartz and lapis lazuli, and my lapis lazuli, beautiful. They have done excellent damage against you.
Yeah. You also need another 50 sets of dice.
Shut up for those of us who are dice goblins. Dice
My
goblins is
wife
me.
is a dice goblin.
Me.
But I mean, the D&D Beyond led into the next question. What are some good resources for a new player?
So great stuff to look into. D&D Beyond is a great resource to look at online. I know that some people may think that it is a completely garbage, vitriolic place to visit, but Reddit has some good themes out there. Has some good. Hey, check that out. We just got a follow.
Deathcore, hey!
Deathcore dude. Cheers
Appreciates
and thank you, thank you, thank you.
You keep talking. I'm going to add the
Thing.
alerts, yeah.
Yeah, good call.
So it might look silly for a second.
It's gonna look silly, but you don't care, do you? So yeah, D&D Beyond, Reddit. You can also, something that I've actually really enjoyed watching is just a bunch of YouTube videos of Chris Perkins.
Yeah.
He's one of the lead designers for Dungeons and Dragons. He's been a part of it for, gosh, I don't know how long, but Chris Perkins has an excellent set of videos out there for new players. I think Critical Role does a new player YouTube video.
Oh, they might, yeah.
I think they do.
Wait, while you're talking, keep talking. I got it.
D&D Wiki Dot. That is an excellent one. Well,
Now we got it.
that won't get stricken, right?
that definitely won't. Keep talking, you're good.
Critical has an older set of videos, yeah. What are y'all's thoughts on homebrewing? That's an excellent question. I only homebrew. I say I only homebrew. I like to homebrew my world, and I have a very small collective of homebrew rules that I have at my table, and we'll get into those in just a little bit down the way as we get down this massive sheet here. But I don't like to play in the actual Wizards settings. It's a little bit too high fantasy for me. I'm very low magic, low fantasy, gritty realism.
Gritty realism.
It's the grittiest of realism.
I'm about to bring up the drive again when
Oh.
we get there. When we get there.
When we get there. So yeah, that's
Some
that
good resources. Perfect.
Yes.
All right.
So Dark Souls, maybe. So, what's next on yours?
So this one is more about you.
Oh shit. Okay.
So I have the Devin. Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you? So my name is Dungeon Master Devin. Go by Dev for short. I'm 38, live in North Texas, and I'm one half of the D&D Bros, your most favorite video game streaming channel you've ever seen. No. That was a bold-faced lie.
How long have you been playing D&D?
Shit, since I was 15 years old, 38 now, so
3 years.
23 years. Oof. So yeah, I've been playing D&D for 23 years.
What drew you into Dungeons and Dragons?
Man, okay. So it's weird to kind of go down this journey because my first two instances of actually playing D&D were not actually D&D. My very first one was the D6 version of the Star Wars RPG.
Oh, okay.
I played in high school when I was a freshman, and it was in shut up theater class. Of course it was.
Of course.
We were in
Theater
a
major,
we were.
fuck.
I'm
good at acting.
I'm a scene kid. But I had it was during like a really slow time, like all the testing and everything for the year was done. So our theater teacher was like, study. I don't care what you do, but just leave me alone because he had papers to grade. So the first thing like I got introduced to was it was the D6 version of Star Wars. It's not great. We all died immediately. I think we played literally for 20 minutes and we all died to stormtroopers just shooting us in the guts.
And you're like, yeah.
So the first one I was like, well, this was interesting. It sucks that I died, but that was interesting. Then fast forward a couple years, also in theater, but we were on a massive road trip. Ooh boy, we having a good time up in here. Are we having a good time up in here?
Are you guys enjoying this?
I hope so. So then fast forward to, again, in high school, but we were on a very long road trip. I think it was like literally a 4-hour road trip that we were on for theater, because we were going to some theater function.
Did you play in the back of the bus?
Literally, one of the guys in one of my classmates, he was like, "Hey, does anybody want to play D&D?" And he literally just breaks out books and has like
pencils and
he
sheets.
literally has blank character sheets and dice and everything. And I was like, "Well, this is interesting." So then I start making a character. It was a bard. It was third edition. It was a half-elf bard, third edition. And as I'm making the character, I'm literally like, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever experienced in my life. We got to play for a few hours. I absolutely loved it. Like, I killed some goblins and stuff. Like, I had a very quintessential D&D experience on the bus. And that was where I think the bug bit me, really. Fast forward again, dude.
Oh, this is yours.
That's mine. That's mine. Set that over here.
Lunchbox!
Lunchbox?
Getting drunk, talking about D&D.
Who doesn't love that?
America.
Let me finish that.
So that's where it hooked you.
Yeah, from there, my very first campaign was actually, damn it, I haven't even gotten the new koozie and the condom yet. The can and the koozie condom. You heard me.
I can't get the condom on. Oh, she left.
Okay.
Ranger Green had some bits with a question, though. If you could make a tabletop role-playing game system and setting, what would it be in, and what would that setting be?
It's funny you asked that, because I have low-key actually been writing my own tabletop role-playing game.
Oh, is this the...
So, years ago in college, we were all wanting to play different kinds of TTRPGs.
Yeah.
One of which was sort of this modern-day, slightly futuristic game called D20 Modern. And it's basically all just people. Just people if you were doing cool shit, you know, as just people.
Yeah.
So, I had heavy influence at the time with Battlestar Galactica, Firefly, right? With Firefly and with it's another sci-fi show that was popular at the time.
Star Trek?
No, it's not for me.
Stargate.
I'm not a Trekkie. Stargate. Thank you. So I wanted to make my own complete setting where basically what it is it's called the Galaxy of God's Forgiveness.
Oh, I love that setting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is a universe where we have completely depleted the resources of Earth, and we have to find a new place to live. So just by happenstance, we happen to create deep space travel. We put everybody on these big fucking ships, and we haul ass to this new galaxy where we find these perfect celestial bodies that we are able to terraform in a timely amount to get people onto planets again. It's called the Galaxy of God's Forgiveness. And it has a lot of different planets. We played a little bit of it in D20 Modern.
Yeah. I super enjoyed it. I got to be the captain.
Yeah, he was the captain of the ship. But yeah, it's basically just, it's got a little bit of magic in it, a lot of like cool sci-fi shit.
But it had that space, like,
Space
the Firefly.
Western.
Yeah,
Space
Western. Yeah.
Space Western.
My guy had a big old fucking, and he had the cigar, and the robotic eye, just like.
Yeah. So, by no means is it anywhere close to even being, I think, completely thought out. But that is the dream down the way, is to be able to completely write, edit, and publish the Galaxy of God's Forgiveness is what I would like. Now, that is a lofty dream for many, many moons from
We'll
now.
work on it over the next few years.
So we'll see. We'll see how that one goes.
What are some of your D&D accolades? Brag a little bit, because it's actually kind of cool. Go ahead and tell them.
So back in my high school days, I was a certified dungeon master with Wizards of the Coast. Oh, dude, yeah. Let me tell you,
you get quack?
if you get a patch.
Oh.
Yeah, you got like this patch. It was a very poor quality patch. It did not.
Kirkland
It did
brand.
not stay on my letter jacket at all. Yeah, I stuck it on my letter jacket. What of? What of it? Come
My
at me.
theater pins.
Yes,
And my DM
with
patch.
I had my International Thespian Society on this side, and I was going to put the DM patch on this side. It did not stick.
I just had my sports stuff.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut
up,
My
nerd.
4 state championships. That's what I had.
But yeah, I was a certified dungeon master for a while, and basically what I got to do with that is go from comic book shop to game shop, hobby shops, kind of over my specific area. And I got to be like, hey, I'm a certified dungeon master. Do you have anybody who is interested in playing D&D, who's new players? And I literally just got to sit around and teach people.
When you walked in, were you kind of just like, I believe I'm here, smoking your pipe?
So I tried to be impressive, and I would walk in with my entire stack of 3.5 books.
You guys want to play?
Literally just like, gone. Numerous times people are like, we don't buy books. I'm like, oh, no, good sir. I am not here as a simple patron. I'm here to aid you. No, I literally would like walk in with some books and be like, hi, I'm Devin. I'm a certified dungeon master with Wizards of the Coast. Here's my patch.
You
You got people who want to play D&D? But I have to tell you, like, that was probably some of my favorite years of getting to teach people D&D. That's one of my most satisfying things that I can do with this game is teach people just how fucking awesome this game was. And I would always love it sitting like, you know, there'd be Friday Night Magic happening over there with some of the tables, but I would have a table of like, you know, sometimes 3, 4, 5 people who were like, okay, so how do we play this? Like, how does this work?
Let me tell you.
And let me tell you, let's show you. And we would just do like these just really crude, rudimentary game style stuff of like, okay, so like pick up your sheet, look at that. You want to move that boulder out of the way? Okay, let's make a strength check. Why don't you roll? Show me on there where your strength is. And they'd like look and, oh yeah, okay, so roll and add that. I'm like, you got it. And so
Now you're D&D-ing.
now that's how you D&D.
I can show you D&D. What is your opinion on the rule of cool? Example is my character used base rage with no levels in barbarian.
Okay. So, rule of cool is interesting to me because I rule on it like this. Does it come at a detriment to you, the player? Or risk, not detriment, but does it come at a risk to you, the player? Is it cool, or are you just trying to show off? Like, is it legitimately cool? Cool in the fact, like, it can benefit the party, it can benefit the story, it can do something legitimately cool by everyone's standard at the table.
If we took a vote, everybody says yes.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking dope. Let's do that. But if it's just like, I want to really just push my limit and throw 17 daggers in one turn. Fuck off. No, you can't. You can drop 17 daggers like, oh, my fingers.
Oh, my dad.
I cut myself. The rule of cool, it has to be at a risk to the player. It has to be to a benefit or a boon to the party or a group or the story as a whole. And it would need to be something that actually makes sense.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It has to make sense.
It has to make sense.
You have
can't
to write it in
Right.
to make sense.
You can't sit there and tell me like, oh, because of adrenaline, I can lift a 4-ton slab of marble off a guy. No, you cannot. That is not happening.
My years in the marble mines, though.
But because I'm so angry, I don't care. It's not happening.
But I mean, like, if you were like, hey, I play a fighter, my parents were wizards, like, I saw them cast magic, like, something finally clicked, and I kind of understood how to throw a magic missile.
And a very desperate moment, could I potentially throw a magic missile?
Just one.
Just one. Just see if I could. And could it be at a detriment to you? Yes, we can roll. We can roll dice to see if like
it hurt you.
Can you tap into the arcane weave and make that actually happen?
Yeah.
Will it do something to you? Like does it do the damage, but also does it back to you?
Yeah, you throw one, you take the other two.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Because you can't control it. You're
No.
not trained. You're not trained in the arcane. So,
But-
could it be a detriment to you? Yes. Could it be beneficial to the party? Yes. If it's like a critical moment in the battle, yeah, absolutely.
see,
So,
that's a cool, like,
rule of cool. I guess long story short, rule of cool, yes, in very specific situations under very specific circumstances. So, yes.
perfect. Yes.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite memories from playing D&D? Oh, man. I know we've talked about a few already.
We played a Star Wars game. It was my first. This is a core memory. It was one of my first times. My first like start to finish role playing TTRPG was a Star Wars game, and I remember doing one specific session where it was my very first time. I don't know if you've ever had these, but I played until the sun came up.
I do that in video games. I haven't done it in
Yeah.
D&D.
So like
Like to,
we
but
were all playing, we were all doing stuff, and we were getting towards the end of the session, and it actually happened where like someone was like writing stuff down, and they look out and they go, "Hey, the sun's coming up."
Oops.
Huh?
Oopsies.
Oh no! But it was a core memory because it was such a memorable moment in the game, in the Star Wars game. Like, we had thought that one of the characters had died, but he had got lost, and we found him again, and he was okay, and it was just this very cool moment that we were like, oh my fucking god, this actually happened. And we stayed up all night playing, and it was just that's probably one of the core memories I have of my favorites. And then the other one that I would say is a core memory was in college, where I ran this game. This went through the whole school year, and it was we were literally down to the wire as far as the campaign ending,
Yeah.
but also school ending, and 4 people were graduating.
Like, we gotta...
Like, this has to be, we gotta wrap this up. So we played, and we kind of made like this last session, we all dedicated like, this is going to be an all-day affair.
Yeah.
This is, we are doing this.
Sun up, sun down.
Sun up to
pass.
sundown. We started at 8:30 in the morning. Everybody with like McDonald's bags of breakfast.
I got me Mickey.
We went all the way to 1:30 a.m. And as I finished, I did what I usually do when I close out a game is, and that concludes the tale of blah, the name of the campaign. And I closed my folder. I got a standing ovation from my players. I got a standing ovation from the other people who were watching, like the roommates and stuff.
Yeah.
And people were literally clapping. I had a couple of people crying, and I couldn't help myself. And I was just like, "Thank you all." And like, oh, dude, I was crying so hard. Like, we finished it in time. So,
We're there.
man, it was fucking wild, dude.
Well, perfect.
Yeah.
So, these next chunks are very much going to be resources for other DMs and just how you run your games.
Okay. This is for DMs.
This is for DMs,
Ooh.
new players that have never played D&D and want to know, like, what are the typical expectations?
Okay. Okay.
So, DM expectations, this is how you feel, and it's going to be a little bit about how I feel at the same time, how we feel about certain things
Sure.
within D&D. So, the first one is alcohol. Can players drink at the table? Do you care if players are drunk?
Yeah.
What happens when someone gets drunk?
Right.
What happens when a player arrives to the session and they are already drunk?
Ooh.
And should there be consequences? If so, what are the consequences?
Yeah. Before we get into this, I do want to answer this question because this is a really good one from the audience, from the chat.
From the audience.
From the audience. Ranger Green asked, so I have a 6-year-old playing in one of my games. Do you have any tips to those who are running for little ones? I actually do. This kind of goes back to my improv training from my theater degree. But for running a game for kids, D&D can be such an amazing implemental tool in the development of critical thinking, team building, and problem solving. With those 3 things in mind, running a game for children, 1, always be ready to yes and. Always be ready to let them say, okay, this is the thing I want to do. Great. And to do that, reciprocate it back. There is so much that you can do that can very easily and quickly snap a kid out of being interested because they feel shut down, because they feel like they're...
No, you can't do that.
Right. You already say no to your kids enough. I know I say that to my kid enough. But I personally think it... Oh, we got a shouty coming.
Salty heathen. Sup, sexy?
Oh, were we able to keep it? Oh,
I don't know if the shouty. Let me see if I can. Let me.
Anyway, Salty Heathen.
Let me
Salty
fuck her
Heathen.
out.
Salty Heathen playing one of my favorite games of all time.
That took off too. What the fuck?
Oh
What
yeah,
the fuck?
I fucking hate that area too.
So go boom,
Dark ass
boom.
bitches. Anyways, so all that being the case, be ready to yes and the kids. Additionally, what I would say is they have more enthusiastic imaginations than any adult ever. And what I would say is embrace that. Embrace that imagination. If they have a feeling or they say they want to do something or if they say they want to try something, embrace the imagination, because for them that encouragement of the environmental, I think, is so fucking critical. Like they need to have that encouragement, and it's already a game of make-believe. Let's make-believe with them. Make-believe with your kid at the table.
Yeah, I mean, if they say they want to go find a unicorn,
Let's
great.
Let's go
find a
fucking find that unicorn.
Yeah, let's make some sort of nature checks and survival. Let's find this fucking unicorn.
Hey,
there
Shock
it is.
Blazer!
There it is. There's the unicorn.
There's our unicorn.
Good
Shock Blazer.
job.
Camera keeps flipping out.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Okay, alcohol. What is your take on alcohol?
Okay.
As I
Now, we are
my
all
alcohol.
adults. One, if you are of the drinking age, of course it's fine that you drink at the table. However, to drink into the point that you are... Oh, you already put it up.
it's a
Yeah,
little,
thank God.
Let me tweak
Sometimes
it.
I don't, which is
It's fine.
unfortunate.
You're making me move my fingers in real time.
Real time.
That's our boy Shock Blazer. One of our favorite boys.
He's our
Dude,
favorite.
I
boy.
want to be like those people that have been able to literally.
What is he
I
playing?
have seen
Pokemon.
so many people
He's got a slowpoke.
playing this game, and they have gotten to
Combi.
like
Combi?
Yeah. To be.
Anyways, so are we all adults? Are we all going to enjoy a drink while we sit and talk and hang out and enjoy a fun game? Fuck yeah, of course we are. Keep things within reason. One of the baser rules at my table is please maintain a modicum of attention paid to what I'm saying. I fucking hate having to repeat myself, especially with plot points or when I'm role playing and an NPC is saying something important and someone's just like, "Huh? What'd he say?"
Or they make a joke.
You know, they make a fucking joke. If somebody does get inebriated, and I've had it happen to me myself, the rule has always been immediately stop the game. We're going to take 15 minutes. We're going to stand up. We're going to use the bathroom. We're going to drink some water. We're going to get a snack. We're going to stretch our legs.
Spit real quick.
We're going to go have a spit. We're going to remove ourselves from the game for a moment so that even if we are inebriated, we're going to retain our focus by stepping away, clearing our heads, and then coming back.
There we go. Okay. I like being closer to you.
That's fine. So that's my rule on it.
Okay.
And if someone shows up drunk, I'm probably going to tell you no.
Not tonight.
I'm probably going to tell you not tonight. We can all hang out and play a board game or play video games, but I'm not playing with out the chute drunk dudes.
Yeah.
So
Perfect. I'm kind of in the. I've never had anybody show up drunk. I've only DM'd for you.
Yeah.
And we've
Mad
had.
underscore 666 says I wish I could stay, but I got to see the Suicide Squad Isekai anime and I got to prepare for my own campaign tomorrow.
Oh,
Love
hell
you
yeah.
all here and get nerdy.
Cheers, Mad Art.
Thank
Enjoy
you for
your
being
evening.
here. So alcohol is fine. Don't get drunk.
Don't get drunk.
Don't get drunk.
Don't get drunk. You can get a nice, a healthy level of buzz and enjoy yourself and still contribute to the game.
Yeah.
Don't get tanked.
What is your opinion on cell phones and digital devices?
I hate them. Just straight up, like, I mean, it honestly depends. Like, I know that these devices are glued to our hips 24/7. I get it. What I think it really truly depends on is how long are we intending to play.
Yeah.
Is it like an all-day affair kind of thing? Yeah, you can stay after, you can use your phone. Keep it within reason. Try not to sit here and have, like, scrolling through social media that you can't even pay the fuck attention. I know that some people use their phones to take notes. And some people actually use their phones to, like, maintain their characters or spell books or whatever.
That's what my wife does. She has her spell book on her phone.
And I totally get that. The part that where I myself get perturbed by it is if I'm expositing with this plot hook of this important lore or important.
Is.
You want to tell me? You want to know what the most absolutely deflating moment is when you look up and you see every player's head down in their phone. Yeah. So I try to make a point to say, if we only have a few hours, like literally, and I did this in college, if we only have a few hours, put your fucking phone up.
Yeah.
It ain't happening. We ain't doing that. And if it's something that you do, like, if we're going to be playing for a while, or if it is something like you do use your phone for some reason, that's fine. Please just keep it within reason.
Yeah.
And I say that because I know who I was when I was a player who was doing that very thing. And my old DM used to get onto me, and then I became a DM, and I was like, oh, I get it now.
This fucking
Oh,
sucks.
that's so rude. We'll say someone with ADHD, my phone is my fidget toy. I'm listening. I use it to help me pay attention. Totally get that.
Yeah.
Absolutely get that. And there's so many people who do have that. They have it like as a comfort item in their hands to mess with it. So,
Yeah.
it's not like you're sitting there scrolling through recipes or social medias or whatever. You have it as a comfort item that's helping you pay attention. So,
Player attention. What happens if a player constantly is distracted? What happens if they are constantly delaying the game because they are not paying attention? Should there be consequences for when a player becomes a problem? If so, what are the consequences?
100%. I have had times where I have literally had people not pay attention round after combat, and I've just gone to skip them.
Yeah,
Like,
they're not going to know.
All right, it's Sorcerer, it's your turn. Oh, what? Oh, God, wait, what's happening? Why don't you go ahead and take in the round, and you can come back the next turn. What? I can't pay attention.
Yeah, it's not
Pay
that
attention.
fucking hard.
Not that fucking hard. However, away from at the table, that's I have no patience for it. Away from the table, if it is something I have addressed it before with players where I'm like, look, if my game is boring you, don't play in it.
Yeah.
Don't play it. You don't have to sit at my table.
Plot,
I welcomed you to my table because I thought you wanted to play.
plot your keys and do the jingle.
Yeah.
Before you talk.
If you do not want a seat at my table, if my game is not appealing or exciting enough for you, go away. I have plenty of other people who have asked, Devin, can I play in your game? No, I'm sorry, I've got a full group. So I've made it a point to make sure that people understood, hey, this is a game that's played socially with people, not just you. So this isn't like you have background noise YouTube show playing or whatever. It is you paying attention to what I am saying and doing.
Yeah.
Because like I said, one of my biggest pet peeves is fucking having to repeat myself. Next!
Disruptive topics. Disruptive
topics?
Thank you.
There you go.
Topicals. Are real-life topics like religion, politics, porn, or sex okay at your table?
Now, are we talking just in general or in game?
In general.
Nah.
Keep it focused to the game.
Nah. And it's I think it's one of the things that I usually always try to emphasize when starting a game of D&D is, hey, we're going to meet at X time, which is usually about an hour and a half prior to when we want to actually play, because as soon as everybody gets in, we're going to talk, we're going to chat it up.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to make, how's this been going? What you been up to? Oh, did you see that latest thing that one person did? Can you believe it? The social impact of it all.
And then sit down.
And go, okay, table talk, done.
Yep.
Time for game time now.
Game time now.
So, as far as disruptive topics, does it happen at the table? Yes. Nip it in the bud and say, wait for a break.
Yeah.
Wait for a break.
Or
Don't
you
talk
do
about it
the
now.
old-fashioned DM thing if you're talking and everybody else is like table talking,
Mm-hmm.
and you just stop.
Oh, yeah. You see me doing.
Yeah, where you just stop and you're just staring and just...
You done?
And one or two players is usually one that's like, psst.
Yeah. Hey, shut the fuck up.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Hey, maybe you should shut the fuck up real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. I was too busy talking about Madonna. Madonna? Why did I say Madonna?
She's been out of... Why?
I don't know.
Is she doing something new? Is Madonna up to something new?
She's running for president.
Okay, next one. Unannounced dice rolls. For instance, what happens when a player makes a dice roll without saying anything, only to then say, I just rolled a nat 20 on my perception check?
No.
Or are only dice rolls that are allowed to be made when prompted?
Dice rolls come when they're declared. That's always been the rule at my table. Because I know that people are, like we mentioned earlier, some people use their phones to fidget with.
Mm-hmm.
Roll. People just roll dice because they want to see. They just want to roll the dice because it's fun. But you can't sit there and go like, roll it. Natural 20. So I just rolled a 20 and it was to strike him. So I do critical hits to him now. No, you fucking didn't. No, sorry, you didn't.
You gotta announce that shit first.
I've always made this a table rule at my table. This is a house rule that with any intentional action comes declaring it followed by the roll.
Yeah.
Now
you don't get a roll first.
You don't get a roll first. Now you can say what I have done before with people is if they want to try to do something clever or try to do something, go, I am trying to cast a spell right now. I have to roll a 13 or higher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 15. I just now cast. Bleh.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
That I will allow, but just someone being like just rolling, and then being like, oh yeah, I totally just crit the guy. No, you fucking didn't. No, you didn't. Sorry, didn't happen.
Here's another one. Dice rolls against one another. Are dice rolls allowed to be used to settle in-character arguments? Can the Bard PC roll to persuade the Fighter PC that his course of action is right?
So, this gets into a completely different discussion of metagaming, and I always hate... I hate it when Deus Ex Machina takes place. I hate when people are led by the nose. I hate when people are taken out of their ability to control their characters. So if someone says, I want to convince him that my course of action is right, fucking convince him then. This is why this is a role-playing game. Mm-hmm. This is why this is a role-playing game.
We're not going to roll. Just convince him.
Now, can you roll to come up with a good argument and maybe I can help you articulate it? Yeah, sure, we can do that.
Because apparently what you're saying isn't getting across to him.
Right.
So let me help you.
Let me help you. Now, if it still doesn't work, or if the person... And I also think the other thing is the other... Are you doing that because that is actually what is organically happening with your characters, or are you, the players, being adversarial? Which, when that happens, that is a completely separate topic of discussion, which has happened often.
Yeah.
If you don't like somebody, the way somebody's playing, if you don't like the other player and the actions that they're taking, and you're trying to control what they're doing in game via rolling, we have to have a completely separate discussion. And I have had this happen at several times.
That's a talk with the DM.
That's a talk with the DM. It's like, look, you two are not getting along. Your characters aren't getting along, but you're not getting along.
It's fine if your characters don't get along, but I need you guys to
That's
get along.
fine. That's fine. But you need to understand that this is a game of collective cooperation and imagination, and there are sometimes that civil discourse within the party is totally fine and expected in some ways. But when you're trying to control the other player with your role, I think we get into very, very
Dangerous.
Yeah, you get into dicey territory. But
like dice. Which kind of led to the next one, player versus player. Is tension between characters allowed? What about arguments between characters? Is combat between two or more PCs allowed?
nice. Oh man.
Do you allow PvP?
Yes and no.
You got to be feeling it as well. Like, you two just need to fucking fight.
Well, and it goes back, is this character conflict or is this player's conflict? If this is player versus player, look, you guys got to hash out your shit. Don't come to my fucking table with your drama. Let's settle it, get it done, be done with it.
But I mean, if it's like a fighter wants to kill a child and my paladin's like, no. He's like,
not
I'm
gonna
doing
happen.
it. Paladin's going to step in.
Paladin's going to step in and do something. Now, that is where we can get into some unique storytelling.
Yeah, it doesn't have to go right to combat.
Where we can get into a semi-combat or role-play moment mixed with some combat. You can do unique storytelling in that way. So in that way,
Around
like
the combat, then dialogue. And then,
like player versus player in that regard, yes. It has its place.
Mm-hmm.
It should be rare. And it should be intentional.
Yeah.
So, what I mean by that, it shouldn't happen every session.
No.
And it should be intentional, where it furthers plot, where it furthers character development, and where it is, after the dust has settled, can we all sit at the table again and still play just fine? Cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Ronnie!
Let's run a quick 30-second.
We'll run a quick 30-second ad and chill with all of you. Hey.
See if there's any more questions. Similar to a ranger and a druid butting heads because they are so similar in some aspects.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's one of the things. I shouldn't talk too much. I need to wait for the ad to be done. I'll wait for the ad to be done. Hey. Dun 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 dun.
Ad break is ended.
Cool. Sup, you handsome fuckers.
I see him.
Who told you?
All right.
Where the hell were we?
PC secrets.
Ooh.
Are players allowed to keep in-game secrets from other players?
Absolutely.
Encouraged.
Absolutely. Encouraged even. Because, and I think what this goes to, and I've had this talk many times, but the way I think of it is like this. Your level should be directly correlated to your character's maturity level. If you're the dark loner at the beginning of the game, what we should see from a good storytelling perspective is character development and growth. Maybe that loner is a loner because of lost his friends, a troubled past.
Somebody killed his dog. John
But
Wick.
maybe he starts out being a loner with the group. But maybe as time goes on, like a couple of sessions and a couple of long rests where people are just sitting around the campfire and talking, that maybe people engage the loner in conversation, get to know him, get to fight alongside him. That's where we start to see character development. We start to see character growth. And as we level up mechanically, so do we level up with maturity.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that is important from a storytelling perspective that I think can maximize the enjoyment of the players at the table, is that every player should be growing as well. So do they have a dark secret that they have at the beginning of the game? Yes. Slowly let that start to be revealed. Slowly let that, maybe it has a dramatic reveal at some point, and it's a pivotal moment in all the party's development that reveal happened. Will it change the dynamic? Absolutely. Should it? Absolutely. Welcome it and let it be a part of the narrative.
Yeah.
And then hopefully the group has enough of the good, cohesive mentality to say, we can push past this.
Dev, do you prefer a cohesive party alignment, or are you fine with clashing ideals?
Oh, clashing ideals all day. We did it even
Yeah.
in some of our more recent games. Dust running Curse of Strahd. I was a chaotic good rogue who would just do some very seedy, underhanded things to do what needed to be done for the greater good.
For the greater good.
For the greater good. And there were people who disagreed with that in the party who were like, the fuck, dude?
No.
Yeah. And I was like,
I'm doing it.
I'm doing what I need to do. Sorry about you.
Stab.
But by the end of it, we had all become closer for
Yeah.
it. We had all become a stronger party because of the conflict that we were able to have, address, and overcome. And I think that those party alignment, clashing ideals, I think they're great for storytelling and character dynamic. I think they're fantastic for that reason.
Game balance and fairness.
Oh.
As a DM, what are your feelings about the balance of the game you are playing? How will you as a DM handle encounter balance? Will you constantly be throwing only deadly encounters at the PCs? Perhaps you feel that this is the kind of sandbox campaign. Players can stumble into an ancient red dragon lair at level 1. Fucking white dragon.
I was just about to say. Give me another one. To answer that question, yeah, I run a story-driven game and a sandbox world. Having said that, I think the thing that I keep from a balance perspective is player knowledge versus character knowledge. And character knowledge is always going to be something like, hey, maybe we should roll some nature, history, religion, whatever here, and they can know, oh shit, these are the signs that we are in fact in an ancient red dragon lair.
We should leave.
Maybe we should dip. Maybe we should dip out of here.
If you want to continue,
And
I'm giving you the breadcrumbs.
I do play very poker face in that regard. I do also have my own created event randomizer. So when we do long form travel where it's like, okay, it's going to take you a week to get there.
The worst thing is we're doing that and he rolls a dice and goes, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
It has only happened 3 times with y'all.
But it was an oh no situation.
It was an oh no situation. One of which was an adult white dragon that
We did it.
it almost
Oh, it was so bad.
it almost killed y'all.
Paladin runs up. I got this. Whop!
Whap!
I am down. Help.
Please heal me. Oh no.
All my health went away. So don't try to attack him.
Yeah, don't
That's
do that.
not going to work.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay. Rules debate.
Ooh.
Or rules debates. As a DM, how do you handle rules debates? Do you pause to look it up, or do you make a quick ruling on the spot, that's it?
It really depends on what is being debated. If someone is sitting here saying like, no, my spell does this, and it should have this effect, we're looking it up right then and there.
You sure?
Yeah, we're looking that up.
Yeah.
Now, if someone's going to ask a question of, hey, I really think that this should be more of a persuasion rather than a deception, then we can have a very brief back and forth of like, tell me why you think it needs to be a persuasion rather than a deception.
And that's something you do really well, is just explain to that. Explain that to me.
Build that for me quickly. if you can't convince me, I will say, I'm sorry, it's staying as a persuasion. Please roll it.
Yeah.
I don't really leave it up to discussion, and some people may think that that is harsh, but I think that if you don't do that, it can bog the game down very quickly.
Actually,
Oh man.
fuck off.
Yeah.
First off.
Rules lawyers, we actually have played with a lawyer, which is always fun. I'm just kidding, man. I love you. If you're watching this, I love you. You're an amazing lawyer, and I love you.
But you're a lawyer.
He's a lawyer, so like, you know, people who want to, you know, get clarification on something. At the end of the day, I am the dungeon master. I don't like to flex that muscle of my rule is law, but if it's going to slow the game down, I will go ahead and rule as is. And
Or let's look it up. Let's move on to the next
Correct.
person. You look it up.
right,
Show it to me.
yeah. So it depends. It depends.
Spotlight sharing. Are players
Ooh.
allowed to have spotlight focus, or will the spotlight only be focused on the party?
Oh, I do spotlight focus all the time.
Yeah.
You know this.
Yeah.
I run my sessions very episodically, where one to two players, most of the time it's two players, will have the spotlight for a session, because a story element is happening. I'm incorporating their backstory in some way. I don't ever want to make it feel like there's ever one person who's being favored over the rest. So I really do try to make sure that that spotlight rotates amongst the entire party. Now, if someone tries to shoehorn their way into being in the spotlight, I will handle that very quickly. You have seen me do this. Stop it. Shut your stupid mouth.
Take a break.
But I try to make it very clear that this is not your story right now. This has nothing to do with you. Please let them have this moment. This is not about you. And I think that goes back to even some of the more baser shit in choosing the players that you play with.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the most crucial elements, is picking the right people to sit at the table with you.
And I think a lot of it, you do a really good job even of just like, hey, we're at this druid grove. We have a druid in the party. Like, this is their moment. And the fighter's maybe I want to talk to him and be like, hey...
Maybe the fighter needs to sit the fuck down and let the druid handle shit for a minute.
And it's as easy as, how much do you know about druids?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I don't really know anything. Okay.
Then
so
maybe sit down.
This isn't your moment. Shut the fuck up.
Maybe sit the fuck down for a minute.
And we play with a lot of good people where you could go like, hey, not your moment. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, go ahead.
And I think that kind of goes back to also like the player choice that you have. Now, we are very lucky. We play with people that we're close to and friends. If you are the kind of individual who is playing with some random individuals, maybe you're playing at a hobby shop or something, I think that one of the most important things to really define early on when you're playing with random people is clarifying with your party and the DM, what kind of story is this? Will my backstory, if I write a backstory, will it be incorporated and explored, or is it just flavor for me? That is just such a crucial early on element to go over with your players, is who are you and why are you here, and can it be incorporated, and will other players know? Because I tried to make sure during your game that I was like, this is not me, I'm shutting the fuck up.
But there were several times where our wives would ask me a question and I'd go,
I hated chiming in, but
I feel like that would be a religion check?
Maybe a religion check.
Yeah, it's a religion check.
I speak definitively. It's a religion check.
Religion? Is it?
I tried not to step on your toes.
No, and
man.
it was,
I
you
really
did great,
tried not
because
to
there
do
were
that.
several times where they would ask me questions I didn't even fucking think of, and I would just be like, Devin, what do I do? I would probably have him roll survival. Okay, yeah, roll survival.
Let's do that.
Yeah, do that. Here's
Is this
one.
the reason I haven't been invited back? Ronnie,
Ronnie!
shut the fuck up.
You work and travel.
You traveling, working bitch. I love you.
Okay, here's a question from the audience. If you have a party of 5 and someone joins after the party was established on a few encounters and adventures, how do you add in the new player without feeling like they are shoehorned in? Same goes with a character that was recently killed and the player wants to continue playing with you.
So it is a unique problem to be in, especially when you do have eager players who want to jump in. One, make it make sense. And I don't mean that to be like dismissive, but you and the prospective player need to powwow together. This is a symbiotic relationship. And that goes back to one of my pillars, or like early on stuff, is the relationship between DM and players is not adversarial. If at any point you feel like your DM is your adversary, get a new DM.
Yeah, shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. This is a collective, cooperative storytelling experience in game, as it should be. Tony! Sorry, I had to...
Lunatic Asylum Squad. Not my word.
And Lunatic... I got to burp so bad. It's not coming. It's not coming. Anyways. But with that, I would make sure that I worked with that player to, one, make sure that they're picking a character that they want to play and that it makes sense for them to play. Mm-hmm. I don't want them to, like, in our game... Oh!
Blue got play? Wait a minute, Blue got play? You got play, but I hit a triple headshot.
Love it.
Killing.
What the hell was I saying? Oh, I think that, you as the DM or you as the player, you need to work with your DM to make sure that you're making a character that you want to play. That is something that you will enjoy and have fun playing, but also please make it make sense. Like if this is in my setting where it's a very low fantasy setting and you tell me that you want to play an Aarakocra, I'm like, I don't fucking have those in my world, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to shut you down, but I don't have those in my world. If you can come up with a very, very unique reason why that is why that species is suddenly in my world, please, I'm all ears. Make it make sense.
Lunchbox.
I have so many campaigns in the workshop, I can't find anyone around here to play with, especially my age.
We have a whole community.
We got a huge community. Please hit up our Discord, the TTRPG talk. There are people who are wanting to play, people who are not experienced, who would love to explore playing D&D. And I'm sure that there are... And there's nothing wrong with people playing online D&D, by the way. I know that we have talked a lot about we play in person, and that's all well and good, and that works for us. However, online D&D can be just as exciting and just as fulfilling. So please, please, please make sure you reach out to our community. We got a lot of people in there.
How does one get into y'all's Discord?
Take care of it, you stupid bastard.
That seemed rude. That didn't seem like a nice thing to say to somebody, but fuck you, I guess.
Didn't someone just make a comment like, why is he being so mean?
Why is he so mean to the other one? I fucking don't know.
Sorry.
I'm still looking for my dad's approval. All right.
Oh, shit.
Next topic. Here's a great one for you. Meta-knowledge and min-maxing.
Oh, okay.
What are your takes on meta-knowledge? Like if somebody... I actually wrote this down here. Is it okay for players to know that swinging their weapon as a ghost will not harm them? Are characters allowed to know that trolls don't regenerate health when you harm them with acid or fire?
Yeah. So yeah, this is a very long-standing debate about meta knowledge or doing metagaming. Look at the mod chat.
Oh, I'm bringing it up for you.
Thanks. Oh god, I gotta burp so bad.
It's your daughter.
Watching
us.
My daughter's watching me. Oh my god. Okay, I can't fucking cry right now, man. Shut the fuck up. I'm trying to talk. I love you, baby girl. Okay. So, meta-knowledge versus... Or metagaming and meta-knowledge versus character knowledge. This is something that I think that it can potentially be a big problem, but it is a very easy fucking fix as a DM. Would your character know that? Would your character know that?
And you better explain to me how
You better
they
explain to me
fucking
how your
know
fucking
that.
character knows that.
Have you fought trolls before?
I run a homebrew created low fantasy world. There are no monsters in my world, really. And so when monsters are encountered and I have to, my player's like, oh, dude, yeah, dragon, everyone get your fire weapons out. How the fuck would you know that?
So
would you know
back
that?
in my youth, I read a bunch of books.
Maybe you should make that a history check to make sure that you actually did remember that from reading those books from way back when. Go ahead, what'd you roll?
12.
I don't think you remembered shit.
I remember they're weak to something, I just can't remember what it is.
You remember that there are dragons.
Yeah, they have wings.
So, and I think I think it is something that is also very, very easy to fix from a DM perspective and from a player perspective. I think a DM should be very clear and concise from their session zero. Hey, the character you are playing is going to be of this kind of variety, and they're going to have this kind of expertise and this kind of knowledge. And just let them know, like, if you metagame, I'm going to call you on it, but just please realize it's a very quick correction. It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't need to be a big fight. It doesn't need to be a big thing, but just correct it as you go. There's nothing wrong with that.
And then min-maxing.
I'm a min-maxer from way back when. Optimizing your player, there is nothing wrong with that. However, the moment I see you swapping from min-maxing to power gaming, we're going to have a talk.
Yeah.
We're going to have a talk then.
Please stop. You're
Stop
sucking
it.
the fun
You're
out
not
of this.
you're not doing yourself any favors. This is if you want a power game, go play fucking Diablo. That's the easiest correction I can offer to you is just go fucking play Diablo. The optimization of a player, it makes sense, especially for new players. People who are new to this game are going to be exploring this brand new game full of these incredible rules that they know nothing about. So of course they're going to want to create something that is optimal for them to have the easiest time to be integrated into this incredible new
Stat
game.
points at certain, so that you
100%.
can get to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. It makes sense. Now, don't abuse it, obviously. And
Don't
like
be
I
that
said,
guy.
the moment you get into power gaming, we're going to have an issue.
Here's a good question too.
Oh,
What
sure.
is the difference between power gaming and min-maxing?
Okay,
I min-max, but
you min-max. So min-maxing would be like, okay, I am playing a barbarian. I'm going to put my highest stats, my two highest stats into strength and constitution. My dump stat is going to be charisma. I'm not even going to fucking worry about putting stuff in charisma. I'm not even going to put any skills into charisma. I don't give a shit.
I'm focusing on strength.
I'm focusing on strength and constitution and doing as much possible damage as I can.
Because that's my role.
That's my role.
Min-max.
Min-maxing. Power gaming is when you want to start doing things that can potentially break the game, where you start getting into such subtle nuances of arguing rules that I start getting concerned. And I'll give you a prime example. Playing in 3.5, one of the rules for the game was if you put a bag of holding into a portable hole, it would create a small black hole, a rift in the time-space continuum. And it would essentially create just a quick black hole that lasted that long. It would do 10d6 damage. One of my players was like, can I create a crossbow with two levers on it that one throws portable holes and the other will throw bags of holding? I've bought all these bags of holding, so you're telling me you wanted to create a fucking rail cannon that will shoot black holes. No! Shut the fuck up, get out, get away from my table. Stop it.
You're sucking the fun out of
You're
this.
sucking the fun out of this.
Yeah, you can one-shot everybody.
When you're trying to manipulate the rules in such a way that you break the game and are trying to always, and I hate this term, win at D&D, I'm done. I'm done with that. I have no place at that for that at my table. I just don't.
More questions.
Ooh.
My husband is learning D&D. What is the easiest way I can walk him through learning without him being too much of an info dump for him?
I would say to watch one of the easiest ways is to watch something that's entertaining. Critical Role, Dimension 20, a couple of the Acquisitions Incorporated. There's a bunch of streams where people are playing and having a good time and they're rolling dice and it looks like fun. Slowly then you can incorporate learning about it, maybe by like just looking through the player's handbook. One of my favorite ways to teach people to play is just like, hey, I want you to make me a level 1 character of your 3 most intriguing classes. Go through the player's handbook, look at these character classes and everything, and I want you to make me a level 1 of your top 3 that you enjoy. And just see what it does for you. See what it starts to do with like making the gears turn and to make you think about, ooh, this could be fun. And then you can start to think about role-playing aspects. You can start to think about builds that you want to make in character character creation and beyond. There's just a lot of very subtle ways to slowly incorporate that learning process. And then, unfortunately, sitting at the table is the best teacher. Just sitting at the table is the best teacher. Even if they're just watching. You can sit
That's a
with
good starting point.
Yeah.
Is just watching people play D&D.
And that's what usually happens. Is you have people sitting watching, and you're like, okay,
so like, check this out.
Yeah, so here's what I'm doing. Yeah, so he just told me to attack him. So you see that right there. I'm gonna roll, and I'm gonna add that. And so you see, I rolled that. Okay,
yeah,
I
that
rolled
makes sense.
12 plus 6. I rolled an 18. Did I hit? Okay, yeah. So you see, I hit. So now I got to roll damage. And it's just a very easy way to incorporate and involve people in what the nature and the spirit of D&D is.
And as a DM, when speaking to your players, do you refer to them as their name or as their character name?
Character name.
Character name. Yeah.
I try to do as much immersion as possible. I really do try to do as much incorporation of the character as I can. Some people like to do very intricate and deep backstories. The more you write, the more I'll incorporate, and you can attest to that.
Yep.
The more that you want to have your character's backstory be something that is important, done. I'll write it in. I'll find a way.
Yeah.
And I did that with pretty much every character.
Yeah, you have. Me and my wife gave you long-ass fucking... We enjoy doing it, though. Like, this is the entire history of my character.
Cool.
Make this hurt me
I said,
somehow.
hope you don't mind me using that against you.
Make this hurt so that, like, it pops up and I'm like, oh no.
Oh, no. Sarah.
The guy who killed my parents. He's here.
He's now here.
Magic beans? Tony, you fucker.
Fuck you,
Bean
Tony.
grenade.
Fuck you, Tony. It's fucking beans. Those are the
The
bane
greatest
of my
wild
existence.
card we had in the last game.
Bane of my fucking existence was giving you fuckers a bag of beans.
We kind of messed up the world.
Yeah, you kind of did.
I was very much against the magic beans. Just to the paladin was like, hey, let's not.
Maybe we shouldn't plant a magic bean. And Tony and Tom like, it's happening.
Plant this fucker.
Plant this bean.
Do you guys see that tree? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Oh man. Any
All right.
other questions
And then
from them?
the last one in this subject, murder hobos.
Hate it. The moment you start killing NPCs, the moment you just start being like, who's the blacksmith? Okay, can he repair my weapons? Yes, he's charging 3 gold for weapon repairs. I'm gonna kill him. All right, well, I'm done playing then. I'm not running a game for murder hobos. If you want to live out your fucking fantasy of killing people randomly in a fucking RPG, go play GTA. Don't sit at my table. I've got no place for it. I've got no patience for it. At this point, I have spent literal years writing for my games. I have spent time and effort to write for you, a player, a story that is engaging and deep, hopefully riveting, and includes you as a player. And if you just decide to fuck around and think that this is Westworld and just shoot everybody the fuck up, Get away, get out, go away from my table. I have no place for you with that.
I've never had it happen because I've only played with like you, but I always feel like I'd go back to I'm at the shopkeep. I want to kill the shopkeep. Cool. This is a retired level 20 fighter.
Yeah.
So
Shocker, he's a celestial in hiding.
roll initiative.
Are you going to kill an angel? Good luck.
So he killed you.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't make another character. This might not be for you.
I have only had to do it a few times, but I have had to uninvite people from my table just because of situations where it was like, you're clearly not wanting to do anything with the story that I'm telling. Just go play in a meat grinder campaign and have fun, because I'm fucking done.
This might be a multi.
It might be. Do we have a lot? Do we have a lot left?
We have a lot left.
We were worried we weren't gonna be able.
This
to
wasn't
fill
3 hours worth
I
of
know.
conversation.
Here we are. Actually, we'll take a very brief break. I've got to go put my daughter to bed.
I have to pee too. Do
You
we just
have
want to go to the inner or the?
Well, no, go ahead. You go pee. I'll sit
Okay.
here and talk with everybody.
Okay.
And then when you get back, you can talk to everybody. I want Deb to make me cry. I can do it.
He's done it.
Do you want me to make fun of your genitals? No, I'm just kidding. Going through high school being called by my last name in a D&D game, I don't respond to my own name. I respond better to my character's name. I always try to do as much immersion as I possibly can. Y'all should be called the D&D Guild Masters with all this knowledge. Oh my god, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, thank you. Trader does. What if we try to talk down the price for the blacksmith? There's nothing wrong with haggling, and it could just be something brief where you try to roll a persuasion or a deception or whatever, and then if you roll it and you fail, the blacksmith staunchly looks at you and goes, "The price is the price." Played a game of Iron Kings with a guy who decided to shank the kid we were supposed to contact for a mission, instantly turned the rest of our campaign into escape the authorities. That doesn't shock me. I have a god of barbarians in my D&D setting that is randomly a merchant. No one knows which merchant he will be. Ah, Trey, I fucking love that. Are you good?
I'm good.
Talk to the audience, you stupid bastard!
Seemed rude as well, but... Hi, guys! I didn't know what you talked to him about already. How about threatening, intimidating NPCs? So we've had that happen in a couple of my games. You can threaten, you can intimidate anybody you want, but everything has consequences. I mean, if you're threatening a merchant and trying to haggle a price down, and he feels threatened, and you fail the roll or whatever, and he's just like snaps his finger, and a couple of guys come out of the back, like, there's always ways to just be like, no, not gonna happen. You're both DMs, different opinions. We want to hear both. I don't know what he talked to you about, though. I have a group of shy people. Would it be game-breaking if I didn't encourage people to talk in character? We don't talk in character. If that makes you feel any better, we don't do... You know, my character sounds like this. No. Devin does a really good job, too, of taking what I want to say and explaining it. For instance, if we're talking to, like, a Jarl or something, and I tell him, like, hey, I want to convince this guy that, like, he shouldn't go to war with these people. And Devin will take what I said, and he'll kind of explain a little bit more elaborate of what I'm telling this guy, like, hey, this isn't a good idea. Never feel like you have to talk in character or even dress up. We've never done that. I did in an old meat grinder campaign, but I don't talk in character. So never feel like you have to. You can just say, hey, if you have a group of shy people, just be like, hey, my character says they don't want to do that. Perfect. Totally fine. Totally acceptable. We're here to console you from your abusive relationship with him. He is abusive, isn't he? He yells at me a lot. It's fine. I crave the abuse. I do some inflections and differentiate NPCs, but not required. Devin does voices. Like, when I ran Curse of Strahd, like, the NPCs had different voices. Like, as stupid as it sounded, like, Strahd had his own voice. And it wasn't even, like, Transylvanian. It was very much, like, Russian. Because that's the only voice I can do. I am Strahd. Welcome to Barovia. But he gave a big, long speech, and I kept that accent. And I was so nervous to do it. And I'd look over, and Devin was just like, yeah, it kind of just keeps you going. And, like, my wife doesn't do voices. Devin's wife doesn't do voices. Devin will occasionally, like, in character be like, yeah, so anyways, like, Bolt's gonna stab this guy. It's like, oh, shit, yeah, fucking do that. But never feel like, flip your head around if Devin's being too off. But never feel like you have to do character voices. I do as a DM when I'm voicing certain characters, and I want to differentiate. Like when I did Strahd, like that's Strahd's voice. Like they knew it was Strahd when he was like, "Welcome to Barovia." How much would it cost me to get you, Dev, and the fams to come to the house to do a session? A 12-pack of Trulies. And maybe dinner. Like pizzas. That's all it takes. Feed me and get me drunk. That's all I need. You should have a signal when he gets wild so we can start throwing Devin chugs at him. I'll just do like baseball signs. Yeah. Man, I ask that question a lot. You and May are awesome. Yeah, my wife is really good at D&D. It's that super autism power she harnesses. And my wife is a researcher. She always has been. So when she plays her warlock, she researches every aspect of the warlock. Every single spell. She has it in here and on her phone. And she knows how to play that character to a fucking T. And what does the most damage and what aspect, and like she's just a researcher. Dude, I hope you don't feel that you need to get voices correct. Yep, as long as everyone understands what you're trying. Whoa. Don't lie to the people, Amber. Use your autism. It's a gift. I'm a baby DM, so I can't even get voices correct for any character. My shy team would be too scared to do voices. Never feel like you have to. We do voices for NPCs and occasionally, and it's never, and that's kind of something we do. Like, before I did Curse of Strahd, I was like, hey, I'm going to try to do Strahd's voice. The worst thing you guys can do is laugh, because then I won't do it anymore, but like, let me try it, and eventually it stuck, and I had Strahd's voice, and like, you kind of get into a groove, and especially when you look over and I'm like, welcome to Barovia. And Devin's like, it's like, yeah, keep going. Like, that is so encouraging when you're a DM and like, you have the players that are like, you do a voice or you're trying something new and you look up and they're like.
When your players recognize a villain and vehemently hate that villain, that's when you know you've done a real good job. That red-robed motherfucker. Oh, I hated him. I hated him so much. And to, I guess, build on this point that you're talking about, like voices and role-playing. Yeah. You know, it is a tabletop role-playing game. Now, do I expect you to dress in full garb? Do I expect you to speak in proper British accents across the vastness of the session, and do I expect you to enunciate your pronunciations as a lord would in his hold? No, I don't.
You can just tell me what.
If you want to tell me what you want to say, I'll do it for you. Mm-hmm. I have training as a fucking voice actor. I know what to do as a voice actor, and typically I can improv pretty well to get your player's point across. I know that that's one of the things that usually scares people away as like role play. Oh, I don't know how. I'm not an actor. I don't know what to do. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You can just generally say, and that's one of the methodologies of role playing is to sit here and say, okay, I want to try to convince the barkeep to give us a discount because we did clear the town out of goblins. Now, if you're a role player, I'm probably going to ask, well, what do you say? But if you're someone who I know, like, role playing's not my thing, just be like, okay, your character approaches the barkeep and says, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Just so it's entertaining, though.
Yeah. Because like my wife, she even says, I never role play.
Ever.
Amber will say what she wants to do, and we always take it and, like, elaborate on it.
Yeah.
And then look at her like, yeah? Cool. Okay, that's kind of what you did. I've gotten better playing in your games, and especially after DMing, I think I could do, like, Seraph.
Oh, Dad. Wait, well...
Fuck off.
Fuck off. Yeah, your progression with learning who Seraph is, as we've played in several games, has been...
And that's the cool part of playing one character through multiple games and kind of, like, tweaking and changing.
Get to
and
really
like,
make it unique.
and now it is Seraph.
Yeah.
Like, Ronnie had a good question, though. How do you all work with new people to get involved in the story, even if there was a past sesh without them?
So, I love new players. And the thing that I always want to stress to new players is you don't have to give me a fucking college-sized dissertation of your character's history. Just give me some generics that we can build upon. Give me some ideas of a character that you're wanting to play. Not just mechanically, but from a role play perspective. Maybe you want to say, hey, I have a very tumultuous relationship with my dad, but I'm not sure what I want to do with it. Okay, cool. What class are you playing? I'm playing a cleric. All right. Cool. Let's build on that. You want to have a tumultuous relationship with your dad. Is your father a part of the clergy? Is your father maybe a soldier who expected you to be a soldier and you decided, no, I'm a man of the cloth. I want to do something else.
First time shatter.
First time shatter.
I'm completely new to D&D and really want to know where to start, but I don't know shit. Can you guys help me, please?
We would be happy to. Seba Stream. Cheers to the first time chatter. Thank
Cheers
you for joining us.
Thank you for being here. Couple questions.
I know we've kind of talked about this a little bit in brief, but I'll expand on it. So anybody who's brand new to D&D, one of the first hurdles I would say is, if one is conveniently nearby to you, find your local hobby shop. In message boards, they're typically called FLGs, Friendly Local Gaming Shop. Mm-hmm. You could find, it's either a comic shop, a hobby shop, a toy shop, whatever. Someplace where there's games taking place. And ask the proprietor of said shop, hey, do y'all have D&D players here? Do y'all have tabletop role-playing games hosted here? If so, hang out. Just fucking hang out. Be the cool person who brings some snacks to a table like, hey, here's a bag of chips. Can I watch you guys play? And just start to kind of learn a little bit. Hopefully, and this has been kind of my experience, typically people will be like, hell yes, welcome, sit down, pull up a chair. We want to show you what all this is.
And hopefully you have somebody that, as they're playing, is like handing you their character sheet. And be like,
yeah.
So he's asking me to do this. This is how I'm going to do this.
Right.
Cool. Yep. So I'm going to roll that. Do you want to roll it for me? Yeah, go ahead and roll it for me.
Yeah, roll that.
Yep. So now we take that number, we add this. That's how I do that check.
D&D players, and I think this is pretty universal, D&D players love to introduce new players to D&D.
Yeah.
They just inherently do. We love this game. We want to expand this game. We want more people to play this game. So hopefully, if you have a friendly local gaming shop, get involved. Just show up when they have their role-playing night. See if you can get yourself introduced to some new groups and people to find that out. If not, there is a treasure trove of players online who would love to play. People who play on Roll20, Foundry, people who play through just Discord. There's a ton of resources there, and I think that the thing that, people are always looking for new players to get involved in D&D, and I think just you need to find a good crowd that you mesh with, and I think that's one of the more important pieces is find some people who you vibe with and get along with, who would be willing to teach you. Siba, if you want, you are more than welcome to join our community. Hop into our Discord. There's an actual tabletop role-playing game channel that you can get involved in and start asking the right questions, and hopefully we can get the ball rolling. Great, I'm gonna do that. I recently found out there's a board game bar. So
Heck yeah! There you go.
Perfect. That's perfect. Board game bar, not far away from where I live. I'm gonna go tomorrow. Thank you for the tips. Very cool. Well, Siba, cheers to you. Welcome. Glad you hopefully have a good path moving forward to get yourself involved. So
I'm actually gonna put that in again.
Can I get a
I just finished my drink. How dare you? Now I have to cheers you with a fresh drink. Oh, the weight of my responsibilities.
I'm actually gonna pin the Discord. So
Good call.
join the Discord. We have a ton of
Cheers.
channel. What was that?
Nice.
Ronnie.
Damn it, Ronnie.
New follower Shimmy. Oh my back. It hurts my back so much.
Okay.
All right. How we doing?
No, we're good. We
Perfect.
still have like an hour and 15 minutes left.
Okay. DM style.
Ooh!
Now
let's
we're
get
into
into
the
it.
DM stuff.
Now we're into really DM style
As
shit.
a DM, what is your style? Are you raw? Do you
Raw versus rye?
Yeah.
Raw versus rye, is
What
that
is
it?
raw versus rye?
Okay. So raw is rules as written
Ah.
versus rye, which is rules as implied.
Okay.
I would like to think that I'm a healthy mix. There's an argument to be made for both. I mean, if you go strictly rules as implied, the game is fucking chaos. It descends into madness. Madness. But rules as written, it can be very constricting. It can be pretty fucking boring. So, I think there's a healthy mix that you can do of the two. And I'm going to throw out an example. So, rules as written, a critical hit, you just do double damage.
Yeah.
Well, what does that mean? What does double damage mean? Something that I was always so very frustrated with some of my old DMs in high school is in 3.5, you actually saw the critical modifier to the right of the weapon. So, as an example, a longsword did ×2 damage, meaning whatever you rolled, you multiplied it by whatever the critical multiplier was.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
But if you are a 18 strength fighter and you're holding a long sword and you roll a critical hit, a 5% chance to roll a 20 on a 20-sided die, and you roll a 1, how does that feel? It's awful.
Yeah. Plus you're doing like 6 damage.
Yeah, you're not doing shit. It's terrible. So, what I've done is, as a rule as intended, if we're doing double damage or doing significantly more damage with a critical hit, then what I'm going to do is my table rule, or for a rule as intended or implied, my rule is if you roll a 20, okay, we're going to take the max damage of that weapon plus the modifiers, max damage, we're going to put that in a pool, and then we're going to have you roll that damage dice again, and then we're going to put that in the pool as well.
Yeah.
So even if you roll a 1, you at least know you did max damage at some point.
Which I love.
So it's still a significant hit. Now that does work both ways.
It does. It does. Ooh.
That does work both ways.
So no matter what, you're doing a chunk of damage. Or you're getting hit with a chunk of damage.
Wasn't it what was it? Was it a Minotaur skeleton that hit you with that?
I always hate that like roll and you're like,
oh.
Devin does this when something happens that like he knows is not good, and he goes, "You rolled a 20, didn't
Dustin,
you?"
I'm very sorry.
How much health do you
How
have?
much health do you have?
30?
Oh, no. It's not good for you.
You gotta bump that number up.
It's not looking good. Those are rookie numbers. Get it up.
He does 29 points of damage. All right. So you're interpreted.
Yeah, it a little bit of both. There's some stuff that you just cannot get away from with the rules as written.
Yeah.
Death saving throws or the way skill checks are used, things like that. So
We gotta go. Hope you guys decide to upload the DM section because I'm genuinely interested in doing my own game.
you
Heck
bet.
Yeah.
All this shit's going on YouTube.
Appreciate you.
Sorry, YouTube.
Question about that. Do you include sneak attack and smite?
So, if they were declared ahead of time, yes, I will do that. Now, you can't sit there and say, like, critical hit. I smite. You can add smite to the back end, but that wouldn't be doubled.
Yeah.
But if you say ahead of time, look, if this hits, I'm smiting. Or if this is...
Like that! Do more of that!
Eric! Thank you.
I love you, Eric.
Did
I
you
just
get-
realized, Eric, you're fucking... You don't have... How are you watching?
What's he doing?
They don't have
Oh,
power at
yeah.
their place.
Phone?
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Running that battery out.
Watching this, sorry. So yeah, when it comes to rules as written versus rules as implied, I mean, there's arguments to be made for both. And what I think that boils down to is your discussion with... It all boils down, again, to your relationship with the DM and the group as a whole. Like, what have all of you decided collectively? What have all of you decided collectively as a group? What's a good table rule for all of us? Mm-hmm. We've decided in our groups that if you roll a 1, might be a bad thing that happens depending on the situation.
Yeah. You're not going to make it.
Not happening.
Dev, what do you think about changing skill-based stats like strength for acrobatics if they need to hold on to something for a long time?
So yeah, there and I think that's a perfect example of a good... I don't mean to toot my own horn in this, but a good DM who's willing to yes and. Who's someone who says, okay, look, I know I need to hold this rope that's holding the players or whatever for a long time. Can I roll with my acrobatics as a strength to just hold on to it as long as I can? I fucking love that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Do it.
Absolutely.
Rolled a 1? Yeah, that fucking sucks.
Well, that blows. Anyways, want to waste that inspiration?
Okay. A couple things in DM style as well. Player absences and pet peeves. How do you handle player absences?
Player absences, typically, we have a pretty moderate sized group. If someone can't make it, we really just don't schedule it unless we know that people can be there. And it's easy for you and me because our wives are with us
Yeah.
all the time anyways.
We're getting 4 right out the gate.
We're getting 4 right out the gate. We have 2 extra players who are going to be on stream likely, and both of them have pretty understandable schedules. Now, keep in mind, we are adults.
Shit happens.
We are men in our late 30s with stagnant schedules, so we know exactly how we can schedule shit. We know that Sunday is our unplugged day. You're not going to see or hear from us on Sundays. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you may see us around or whatever, but I mean, when it comes to scheduling D&D, like we try to make sure that, you know, I have cultivated a group of people in my group that I know that I can rely on for us to sit and play. We also have children, so that throws things into the mix. In the past, I would say, like, if it was just, you know, a randomized group of people and maybe someone couldn't make it, if it was something where we weren't able to reschedule within a reasonable amount of time, I would just say, sorry, I'm going to NPC your character for now.
Yeah.
If you can take a quick snapshot of your character sheet, send it to me. I'm just going to run them where basically they are, I don't want to say comatose, but they're not going to have much to contribute in the way of role-playing in this next session.
They'll do some combat.
They'll do some combat, and they'll help you out with skill checks and shit, but they're not role-playing with you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's
But
just having an off
they'll
day.
continue on in the adventure.
Yeah. And then pet peeves.
Not paying attention is a big one. Man. Pet peeves.
Not paying attention is like the one that just fucking...
It's just the one that just bugs me the most. Like, I took the time out to write this for you, to be entertaining for you.
Yeah, and if you're not paying attention...
The least you could do is fucking pay attention to what's happening.
Here's one from Amber, too. Random. One of my favorite things Dev and Dust have done for us as newer players is letting us tweak our characters after a session or two.
Yeah.
We get to see how our choices play, and if we didn't put things in the right places, makes sense.
So that's actually a standing rule that I have had, especially with new players at the table. What I call it is your 3 days grace. I will give you 3 sessions to play that character, and you get to make tweaks along the way. You can just swap out some stats a little bit, maybe put your efficiency bonus into another skill or something. But basically where you get to tweak your character for the first 3 sessions, especially if you're a new player, because this is not something that you should just definitively know.
Yeah.
Maybe you play a session and go, I didn't do anything with that spell. Why do I even have it?
Can I
swap that out? Yes. Now, I do give warnings at the end of each session, and I do also make sure that at the end of the 3rd session, this is it. After this,
final draft?
you are locked in. So
Yeah.
make sure you make that fucking change count.
All right, we are on to ethic concerns and topics. Are there anything that is off topic in game, like things that are just like, hey, no? And I think I know it's kind of the same rules for like our chat.
Yeah. You know, I've had some players who were not just murder hobos, but they were doing some very triggering, gross behavior in game. Some SA, some R, stuff that you're like,
No.
nope, get you are no longer welcome at my table.
Yeah. Hexa, of course. Yeah, you can. Any of these ideas that you like.
Oh, dude, of
fucking
course.
grab
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. That was the intent of this, is so that
Yeah.
people can be like, that's a good fucking idea. And we could also reach out and go, that's a good fucking idea. Maybe we should use that.
Yeah, the 3 days grace. Okay, character creation.
Yes.
Okay, character question or creation questions. DMs, if you have some questions you want your players to answer about their characters during creation, this is the place to list them. Consider things like, why is your character an adventurer? How is your character connected to at least one other character in the group? Who are your character's parents, siblings, mentors, basically backstory.
And I hesitate to go even that deep. There is stuff that I do want to know. One of which is, why are you adventuring? Why are you here? Prime example, Hostile Trees, Ronnie, one of my absolute greatest friends, was recently joining in D&D, and he was playing a druid but he's an older druid. Like, he's aged, but he's only level 1. And so I was like, tell me about that. Tell me why he's now starting to adventure at this late stage in his life. And we started talking, and we were working together and understanding, like, ooh, that's really good. I like that.
Gonna go ahead and take this and hurt you with it later.
Yeah. And so, like, we were working together, and I think that again goes back to the very symbiotic relationship that should be DM and players working together to create a unique storytelling experience that works for everybody.
And I think that's super important and I did that for you guys with Strahd. I was like, I want some backstory shit. Like, tell me about your character.
Yep.
And one thing I really enjoyed doing, and it was kind of mean, but for Dev and my wife and May, I was like, what is something that you've never told anybody? What's a secret you have?
Yeah.
And they
What's your skeleton in your closet?
What's the skeleton in your closet?
Yeah.
And then, lo and behold,
Can I hurt you with it?
Strahd knew it.
Yeah.
And
Love
called
that.
everybody out at the table at dinner to the other characters that didn't know about, like, hey, Devin's character strangled his sister.
Had to.
May,
She was going to turn me into the authorities, and I had to protect myself.
which caused a little bit of friction between the characters, because it's like, by the way, did you know he killed his sister?
He killed his own family. How can you trust him?
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
sir. And then even when we got to Baba Lysaga, and she fucked with your minds, and it was your sister, and you're strangling her. Nope, it's actually Amber's character. You're strangling.
Goddamn.
And she had her
spells.
own fucked up thing where she was Frankenstein.
Stabbing, yes.
She was stabbing you because she
Yeah.
thought it was the doctor that was Frankensteining her.
I actually like Eric asking this one. I know you've talked about incorporating people's characters' backstories into the world. Do you mandate a certain amount of character backstory to join your table? Not really. If you're a veteran, you can add as much as you want. If you want to write me 10 pages, it may take me a while to read those 10 pages, but I'll read them and I'll probably incorporate it.
And hurt you with it later.
New players, I don't expect as much, and what I would think that is the important questions to ask, and I think it was kind of talked about in chat here, but like, why are you adventuring, and what's important to your character?
Yeah.
What are things that are like most important to your character? Are they values? Are they family? Is it their beliefs? Is it their certain item that they hold dear? Just what is it? What is it that is important to them, and what is driving them to adventure? So we can get pretty loose with it, and that's fine. I'll build it with you. I'll make sure that it's something that you like and enjoy, but I'll build it with you.
Yeah. And that's a good thing a DM does, is he helps you flesh out your character a little bit more.
My wife even today was sending me text messages, like while I was working, she was sending me messages like, I have a fucking great character idea. Can I send this to you? And it was like, fuck yeah, please. And so my wife and I were texting back and forth like, ooh, this is good. I like this. Okay, we're gonna talk about this a little bit more. And so I know, like, when we're not streaming, I'm going to be working with my wife on a character concept that she has that I'm very excited to build. We haven't had starting soon, so we'll take a quick 30-second break.
Bip, 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 doo. "30-second break. Breaking with the break."
We've actually had a lot of people dropping in and asking questions. Thank you, everybody. This has been fantastic. Really
Wasn't
enjoyed
expecting.
this. I was not at all.
I was expecting 4 people.
I was too.
Honestly, like,
Who's going to want to sit and watch this?
okay. A cool thing too, have your players work together to figure out their backstories. Like, me and Tony have done that for your new campaign that we're running on stream.
Yeah.
I have an idea. I was laying in bed. I had an idea about, because Tony wants to play this kind of character.
Yep.
I have an idea about how Tony and I can actually, like, know each other already.
Yeah.
Send it to Tony. Me and Tony start talking about it. It's like, yeah. Send it to Devin, like, hey, we already kind of have this relationship. We're not strangers.
I was the one who had to prompt that, being like, maybe you should message Dustin about this idea.
Yes. We already know each other. There's no weird interactions. I trust him. I know him already.
Yeah.
Like, that's a cool thing to have, like,
It really
in the
is.
campaign.
Well, it really is cool when you get to have all of your players work together and collaborate and understand, like, yeah.
What's your backstory
Yeah,
again?
I want to play that.
Can I be here in this part of your backstory? Can this be me? Yeah, for sure. Cool. Yeah, we know each other. Yeah.
You underestimate how cool you guys are and how great it is to listen to y'all. Axel, thank you, man. Cheers,
Thank
brother.
you.
Cheers to you.
Creation stats. Do you allow or restrict? Are you standard array, point buy, or rolling for stats?
I've always been point buy. No, I haven't. I take that back. In the beginning, in my high school days, I was always roll for it. I am not trying to toot my own horn, but I've always been a very lucky roller. And if I rolled stats, I usually had at least 2 18s and some really good stats. And I've had some friends who were like, I rolled 3 6s. I'm not good at anything. Oh no!
Yeah, point buy is very consistent.
Point buy is my preferred methodology of building stats, just because you have a certain amount of points, spend them how you frickin' want, and it will universally create a well-rounded character amongst the group. Do you want to dump them all into strength? You go right the fuck ahead. Guess what? You're going to be dog shit at everything else compared to the rest of the team, but that's the character you made. Those are the points that you decided to spend. I like point buy because it keeps everybody on the same kind of playing field.
Level playing field.
It's a very well-rounded way to play. It just is. So I usually go with that point buy over anything else.
Is that 3 geese in a trench coat?
Oh my god, there's 3 geese in a trench.
Is that a goose?
I'm
Cheers
sorry.
to you.
I'm sorry, cheers.
Welcome in.
I didn't mean to. Okay.
Is that a goose? If you got a problem with Canada gooses, then you got a problem with me.
And I suggest you let that one marinate.
Welcome, honk.
Huh. Welcome!
Okay, this is going to be more specific towards your story. I'm going to start leaning a little bit more into your campaign.
Ooh.
Races allowed, disallowed.
Okay.
Are there races that aren't allowed? Do you have flying races, homebrew races? Like, what are your races?
So, and this is a very good question to ask, and I think that this, again, goes back to one of the previous points I made where the relationship between player and DM is not adversarial. It needs to be cooperative, and you need to work together. Now, for me, in my game, I have spent years writing it. It is a very low fantasy setting, so I have made it very clear early on, if you want to play some sort of exotic race of some kind,
Make that make sense.
you better make it make sense. Help me make it make sense why everybody else is seeing you right now.
Why are you a turtle person here?
Yeah, the 3 most popular races I have in my game is humans, elves, and dwarves. Now, that's not to say that there aren't gnomes or halflings, but tell me, make it make sense.
Very Lord of the Rings. Like, you have your core classes.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually got a pee again. Can you talk to people?
Yeah, I just bought Fandelver. And
We
Below.
played Fandelver!
Yeah,
It was super fucking good. I loved Lost Mines of Fandelver.
that was actually
is
my first DMing experience because
It
I
was
was like,
his first time to DM. It was such a good time. We had a blast. You're going to have a blast. I hope you have a blast. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, that brings
that's
back
and that
memories.
is like the starter set D&D that you buy.
Yeah.
It's like it's the intro, how to DM. It's
Yeah.
all written out. It was super easy for me to do because I wasn't ready. My first time DMing, I wasn't gonna fucking homebrew shit. Like I didn't know how to do any. Tell me how to do this.
I was so ready to play though.
Yeah, it was a good time. And it was cool because I played an NPC character, but I didn't want to like lead anybody by the nose. So my NPC character was a mute, couldn't talk.
Yeah.
So like he knew the answers to some things, and I had to like charades it out to them.
It was funny. I gotta pee, but Shock Blazer's heading out. So Sam,
Shockblazer!
love you, brother.
But
Keep talking, you stupid bastard.
yeah, Phandelver and Below, Lost Mines of Phandelver, great starter sets for a DM. They kind of walk you through everything. And it's so cool because they tell you, like, you're going to this town, here's some notable people. It's a good starter fucking set. It's a good way to start. And that's where I actually started, was Lost Mines of Phandelver. So. Oh, what do you think of a character with amnesia? Ooh. That'd be kind of cool. That would actually be kind of cool. Having a character that doesn't remember anything. That's interesting, yeah. What did my wife say? Dev, can you say, or is it a surprise? Kind of want to justify the race. I would keep that a little bit closer to home, Amber, just because it is an interesting part of your backstory that other characters at the table are not going to know.
Ow. It's a clean wet.
Is it though? It smelled like pee. It smells a lot like pee.
It's not. It's clean. It's got soap and everything.
Okay, so very much so like base classes. Tieflings, make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Half-orcs, make it make sense.
Yeah, that one's a little bit easier to justify in mine, but make it make
Half-elves,
sense.
fine.
That's easy.
That's easy to do.
That's easy.
Okay, what about...
Humans and elves are always bumping uglies.
Got that. No, I won't do it. Classes allowed. Are there any classes that you say no?
Not really. There are some that I'm going to definitely be like, just so you know, that class is not looked fondly upon. Depending on what you play, my setting is, I have to answer that question.
Yeah.
I have to answer that one. That's a good one. My setting is very low magic. My setting definitely looks at where commoners look at magic users very cautiously and very distrusting. It is definitely something where if you're going to play a magic user, by all means, but please be prepared for ostracization as we play, because people are not going to trust you. They just aren't. They're going to look at you like, that's the devil. That's where the devil is, and that person there.
Ban them!
Trey asked an excellent question because this is a character concept that is always explored. What do you think of amnesic characters? People who have lost their memory.
Typical video game setting.
It's a very good question to ask, and it's a very good character to build. What I would say is, if you are exploring that concept, you need to make sure that you...
Charger for this guy.
Yes, I do, actually. Let me finish this thought.
Finish that thought.
I'm going to finish this thought. If you do want to have a character who has amnesia, I want you to tell me areas that you don't want to explore and areas that you're perfectly willing to let me dictate. Like if someone's just like, hey, I want to have amnesia, but please don't make me like the 7-penis demon avatar who lost his memory by coming to Earth. There's such a thing as... Look, there's such a thing as a 7-penis demon avatar, right?
Yeah, I'm him.
There are dicks everywhere!
Oops, all dick.
Oop, it's all dick. But I think that is something where the player has to place trust in the DM, and the DM needs to have good faith with the player. Is it a character with amnesia that is going to be satisfying at the reveal of who they were or are, or
You were revving the whole time.
spoiler alert, dude?
This game
That game is over 20 years
yeah,
old.
If you haven't played Knights of the Old Republic at this point, fuck off.
Let me go get you that charger real quick.
Definitely agree. Yep. The avatar of the Seven Demon. Reminds me of our campaign where a group was basically a bunch of red dragons with a donkey hauling a wagon fully loaded with treasure. Taking a peep at our treasure. Your world is south of the Mason-Dixon line. Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. Amber, you did real good on your character. I love the character she has ready to go for this campaign. It's going to be a good one.
Take this from me before I drop it. I have to grab the charger. Block. This is fun for everyone, right?
Grown men making noises that they shouldn't. You go like this. And look at that. Technology no die. Let me back in here.
What's your favorite character you've DM'd for? Ooh. I know it's going to sound like pandering, but it's probably going to have to be the relationship between Seraph and Sarah.
The cleric.
Yeah.
Baby girl.
Do you want to regale with that?
So Seraph, very much the Papa type. Had some family issues, lost some family. Sarah was kind of his adopted daughter, the cleric of the group. And some bad things happened to her a lot and really broke Seraph. Which was fun to have my character slowly like, that's not a very paladin thing to do. I don't fucking care.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was rough. And for me, it would probably be, honestly, all three of you in my fucking Strahd campaign.
That
Your
was so good.
relationships together,
Yeah. Yeah.
Pyrus, Louisa, and
Bolt. Yeah.
was fucking fantastic.
We were fucking weepy little bitches by the end of that game.
And I liked our
that
relationship
broke us.
as Seraph and Bolt.
Yeah, that
We
was
very
good.
much had like a...
I'm a skullduggery, underhanded rogue. You're the paladin who is broken and troubled, but still lives by some code of honor. And yet the two of us still were like
Sitting by the fire, take a drink of a flask, and
taking
hand it.
taking drinks of flasks, man.
And what did Seraph leave you after he...
Nice.
Eric! Seraph left him his flask.
Seriously, Dust used fucking like parchment paper to like write a farewell letter from the paladin of the group. I could not get through it without crying, like reading it. So I was like, "That's fine, okay."
I had it planned out that he was gonna die.
Oh shit. Okay, we got some audience questions. Hang on. So I have a question about tieflings. The way my brain is explaining it to me is that they were a race of humans that struck a deal with the devil and lost their homeland. The book says they have no homeland, but if they weren't an organized kingdom, I don't get how all of them turned devil-infused. So tiefling is a very sort of hodgepodge, not hodgepodge, it's a very wild card race. I think that there's a myriad of explanations that you can have. People in desperation will always make a sort of plea to some sort of greater power, universal, cosmic, divine force to help them in a desperate time. And I think tiefling is a perfect embodiment of that desperation. whether they are human, elven, drow, dwarf, whatever. Whoever struck a deal with some sort of extraplanar force and deity who wanted to become better in some way or overcome some tribulation, and they struck the deal with said extraplanar figure. I love that about tieflings. Tieflings are a great class, and they have a lot of utility to go along with them, and I think they have limitless storytelling capabilities.
Plus Karlak is like muscle mommy.
I goddamn love Karlak.
I do too.
I love that woman. I would die on that hill for Karlak.
Okay, some of this weekend we've covered.
Ooh, Eric's question though from his bits. What would you think of doing an amnesic character that the player didn't know the backstory and the DM got to reveal their identity through the story? I think that would need to be... I think that's doable. What I think that is most important to do, though, is that needs to be in the hands of a veteran player.
Yeah.
That needs to be in the hands of a veteran player who knows that they don't need to take the spotlight now. They are discovering things. They need to know what their strengths and weaknesses are, and they need to know when to explore their intrigues versus when to just sit back. Conversely, I think the DM has a lot of responsibility there to create a good story. For a player to blindly just say, I have amnesia, do something with this.
Interesting thing on that too would be to not really know what your stats are.
You could do so much with that.
Like what are your proficiencies? Like you don't even know what your proficiencies are.
Yeah.
Because you're just kind of sitting back and watching, and maybe I'll try to roll on this.
Or maybe you have
Something
some sort
kinda
of
came to me.
yeah.
Let
Maybe
me-
you have some sort of like secret advantage or disadvantage
Yeah.
in regards to the way your character interacts with some skill or role play or whatever.
Yeah, you're figuring out your character.
Maybe your character hates a certain person from a certain region, so when they encounter them, and like they may have amnesia, but they encounter them and they're obviously like, I fucking hate this person. I have disadvantage on diplomacy checks because I'm like, we really want to try to just get a good discount here, you stupid bitch. I didn't mean to say that.
Why did it come
Why
out
did I
like...
say that?
DM, why did I say that?
DM, why did I say that? I don't know.
Might want to make a note of
I
that.
want to make a note of that, huh? Maybe you kind of hate those people. Those people. Huh?
All right. Some of this we can skip over because we've covered.
Okay.
House rules kind of stuff, bonus actions. One of the big ones that a lot of people have from playing Baldur's Gate 3 is a potion is a bonus action. What is your ruling on that?
Was the potion in your backpack?
That's the thing.
If the potion is in your backpack, that shit's taking an action to get out.
It takes 6 seconds to sling that over
And
pop
dig
it
that
up.
bitch out. Now, if you decided that you were wearing some sort of belt with utilitous snaps on it that help you hold potions at your side, bonus action, man. Glug. Done. But bonus actions to be just inherent for potions, I think everybody's got to use common sense.
Yeah.
If you're a wizard who never carries potions on their person, why would all of a sudden you be like, I'm going to use the potion? How? It's in your
It's in
fucking.
here somewhere.
It's in my satchel somewhere.
If you can grab a beer and crack it in 6 seconds and drink it, like,
That's
if it
in your
takes more than 6
backpack.
seconds, it's an action. Like, that was
And
an
keep
action.
in mind, there's other shit in your backpack like frying pans and bedrolls and
Yep.
whatever else is in your equipment slots. A 10-foot pole. There's not a 10-foot pole in your backpack.
We don't do that anymore, do we?
We don't. We are not in AD&D. It's okay.
Okay, here's one. Inspiration. How do you handle inspiration?
I know you love this.
Yeah.
So I like to do inspiration as follows. At the very beginning of the session, what I do is I give all of my players these specialty made coins.
Can I get a
3 geese in a trench coat.
That's got to be geese in a trench coat, right? That's not a person, right?
That's got to be at least 3.
It could be a person. It looks like a person.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Is that?
You don't by chance happen to be 3 geese in a trench coat, are
I'm
you?
gonna throw some bread at it and see what it does. I see only honest businessmen here. Hot bread.
Huh. Oh man, that was good. I loved that.
So you have your custom coins for inspiration.
Yeah, so I have these custom coins that I picked up at a Comic-Con once where I give, at the very beginning of the session, I give everybody 1 coin. And it counts as your inspiration. Now, this can be used for a myriad of things. This can be used for an action surge. This can be used for a reaction. This can be used for re-rolling something that is an important roll.
Use it against you.
Yep. The thing I love is somebody who still has their coin and they like look at it like, should I use this here?
Would a 15 hit?
I'm going to hang on to it.
How many sessions have we gotten to the end of the session? Everybody still has their fucking coin.
Oh, dude.
Because
so
we're
many.
just like, no.
No, it's my coin.
But the cool moments too are like we're rolling and you've already used your coin and it's an epic moment and you're like, oh, I rolled a 6. Does anybody have a coin? Anybody? Help me out.
Yeah.
Help me out.
We've done that plenty of times where it's like, fuck, I need to hit. And someone goes, all right.
My coin.
Here's my coin. I want him to re-roll.
Cool.
Cool. You may re-roll.
Oh, I got a 2. Fucker.
No! So with inspiration, I give 1 at the beginning of every session, but I always also like to reward people who are doing risky actions that are in line with their character. If you're a rogue who's trying to sneak through a very difficult area, if you're a barbarian who's leaping into the throes of... Oh, you need to do it this way.
Oh, there we go.
Never mind. If you're a barbarian who's leaping into the throes of danger or trying to like lift a giant boulder off something, whatever. If you're doing something that is in line with what your character would do, that is of risk, that is inspirational, I will give you inspiration after you perform that action.
Here's a coin.
Here's your coin. Good job. That was awesome. Do
Yay.
that again. I've given you a few for that.
You've given me a few. I like to RP my paladin very much like a paladin. The barn.
Do. Nah, you do. Oh, we don't need to talk about the barn.
I paladined it up though.
Yes, you did.
No weapons.
Yes,
just...
you did. Yes, you did.
I hear no bell.
I hear no bell. Dustin, you have 2 hit points left. I don't give a shit.
Lay on hands. I don't hear no bell. Okay. Advantage and disadvantage.
Both of these are very situational, and I've been very lucky that no one has argued with me against or for the advantage or disadvantage that I have given out.
Go! It's our girl.
Holy shit, fail Kapunch
Look at her.
15 views.
She's here! We're talking D&D! Hi, everybody!
You ready?
Are you ready? Everybody roll initiative.
But a good Uru will be able to kind of control a little bit of the CC to keep assassins away from him, right? But he also falls short when he's getting hit from long range. Can't do much about that. So it's
Too
really
late.
hard because there's a
We're
lot
looking.
of pros and cons for every hero and every comp.
Oh, we're deep diving.
Oh, we're so
I still
deep
think
into
Gnosis
this.
is A, but
Stop.
what do you guys think?
What's up, girl?
That is Falco Punch. Please make sure if you're following us, you are also following Falco. Super, super, super cool person playing all the cool shit. Currently in a really, really fun playthrough of Elden Ring right now.
Yeah.
Love watching that playthrough. And those questions of, should I be here right now?
Always
Should I
good
be
questions.
here?
Good questions. And plus, follows are free.
Follows are free, so please make sure you share that love with Falco. Super cool person. So,
Give the loves.
yeah, Falco, thank you for the raid. Cheers to everybody coming from Falco's raid. We are the D&D Bros. I'm Dungeon Master Dev,
Dungeon Master does.
and we're talking D&D right now. It's a lot of talking
It's super nerdy.
about D&D.
Buckle up. Buckle up. Everybody rolled initiative.
My initiative was 5. You go tomorrow. I'm sorry.
I have a build for Dust.
Oh shit! Favorite class, go.
Paladin.
Gee, I wonder if only he was wearing some sort of indicative garment that gave us some sort of sign of what class he liked to play. If only there was some way to discern and find out exactly what
What it was.
class he liked to play.
In the Breasticles area. I mean, if you're not first, you're last. I don't know why you
Shut
don't
the-
just...
God damn it.
Have you ever played an Oathbreaker? I have not.
We
I've
got
come close.
very close.
We got very close in Dev's story of being like, fuck the world. I'm done. Time for me to kill shit now.
He literally said in one, like, before we started, he's like, I'm just letting you know, if I don't find her this session,
Or if she dies,
I'm breaking the oath.
fuck the gods. I'm done.
Whoops.
Whoopsies.
So, oh, but what oath were you? What oath is?
We kind of did it where my oath changed a little bit because it was Oath of Devotion,
That's right.
Devotion Paladin. Then it became Oath of Vengeance.
I
Like
say it became Oath of
that
Vengeance
red
very
fucker needs
quickly.
to die. And then it got very close to being an Oathbreaker of just like, is this my oath? Nope.
Whoops, no oath.
Yeah.
So that was fun. That was fun.
How about you? Favorite class?
Oh, shit. I do my best, most efficient work as a rogue, but I also love playing wizards.
You're a good wizard.
I do love playing a wizard. Now you have to admit, my shit that I did as a rogue
Was good. It was, but the shit you did as a wizard too was like nice.
Yeah. Ain't no one ever said paladins had to follow deities. They do not. They can also follow a code or just a certain energy.
Murder.
That's it.
Follow the
they
energy
can
of
follow
murder.
the energy of murder.
Justified murder. Because you know.
Oops, all broken all broken oats. Oats! Fuck! No, he's the paladin of Quaker Oats.
He's got like the Quaker hat.
Just buckles. Everywhere's buckles.
Did you eat a hearty breakfast?
Be sure you chew your meal. It's oatmeal! Stop telling me to chew! Oh, hell. Man, really glad to have you all here. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And once again, cheers to you, Falco Punch. We fucking love you, girl.
All right.
Next topic. Next!
We're kind of into the actual, like, the world.
Are we really?
We got a half hour. Let's fucking
Do more of that.
Falco.
Now I have to drink more.
I have to drink more.
Not that I'm complaining.
Can I get a?
Shit!
We got a double drink.
Okay, hang on. First the follow. Delicious. Now the subs.
It's a bigger one.
It's a bigger one.
Oh. Why are we getting more intoxicated in a fucking D&D talk stream than...
This is supposed to be informative. This is supposed to be for inform. This is supposed to be for information. Okay.
Alright.
Do we have any topics left of...
We've covered fucking all the shit that I... What'd you think of my questions?
You did fucking great, man. Good job.
Yeah.
I love you.
Took me 14 days. Actually, I wrote this out in a day.
That's
Pretty good, though.
No, you did great.
All right. You need to bring up your Google Drive, though.
Oh, shit.
So we'll...
Just like that.
Oh, no, that was from that.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, my God. I was about to be so worried.
Your drive. The more you drive. All right.
Pull up that map.
Yep. Then let me make sure I have it over here.
Nice.
Eric! Oh, he's
All right.
EP.
If we go like this, and I go like this, window capture, properties.
Nice.
Boom,
Hey,
bang,
look at
boom.
that.
Look at that sexy fucking map.
I feel like I'm saving for VIP.
The
Okay.
VIP?
Okay, hang on. So, Eric...
Ooh boy, we having a good time up in here.
Eric, good night. I love you. Amber, his wife...
Why are you spending money on me? Oh, I need to party on Goblin Claw Island. It's nothing but orgies.
What are you doing, geese?
All right.
All right, so this is going to be for our D&D stream. This is the world that I have written. I have spent years writing this.
Nope. Cancel that. I was trying to
What
zoom
did you
out so you
do?
could see. Step bro. Go like this slightly.
Welcome to Jarlheim.
Just Jarlheim things. Okay, now they can actually see what it's
Okay,
called.
great. Gee, thanks. So this is going to be the world of Jarlheim. This is going to be the focus and setting for our game on the D&D Bros. I have spent many a year writing for this, building out this world, building out, all the different cities and...
Yeah, it's a bummer.
It's like a bubble right here, right now. This is what happens when bits and subs are gifted. I'm okay.
All right, ready for this?
Yes!
Where are we?
Hi, welcome to Jarlheim. This is a continent of a low magic setting where there is one primary kingdom, and there are Jarls spread throughout the continent who rule but act as wards for the king over the entirety of the land.
How many Jarls are there?
There are, in fact, 8 Jarl lords, and there is one king over the entirety of the kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the entire kingdom's called?
Jarlheim.
Jarlheim. Okay.
Jarlheim.
Is there more beyond this map?
There is. Unfortunately, any ships who have ever attempted to sail past the distant seas outside of what is close to Jarlheim have never come back.
Interesting.
Yes. So things are very much confined to the actual to the actual continent itself. Perhaps going within only a few leagues outside of the actual continent itself.
Physical and historical features. Let's talk about climate and geography.
So, in Jarlheim, each season will last a full year.
Interesting.
So there is a year of winter, there is a year of summer, there is a year of spring, and so on and so forth.
I'm going to zoom in, so it's behind us.
Yeah, perfect. Within this, now, when the game kicks off, when the actual D&D stream does kick off, what is going to happen is it is now officially about to be the end of the year of winter. Winter's about to be over. So the year's about to be over. It's about to be the turn of the season. We will be entering into the year of spring.
Hot girl summer. Or like turtleneck spring.
Turtleneck spring? What the fuck, Dustin?
My paladin would wear a turtleneck. Show up with a turtleneck and just be like, hey.
I guess he would.
Define summer. Is it like Florida summer or like London summer?
No. I would
Colorado summer.
I would say it's more of like a Colorado summer.
It's your paladin Steve Jobs. I wear denim jeans and a black turtleneck.
Everywhere.
Texans up? Fuck that.
That's actually a good question from Hexa. Why did you choose for it to be a whole year? So, the reason being is part of the history behind Jarlheim is the fact that time has been a very convoluted thing up to a point in time called the birth of the Iron Star. And that was when a whole year that the sun was behind a gray cloud. And it was during that time that time started to actually become this linear construct where there would be sunrises and sunsets. Prior to that, it was very much this chaotic thing happening, and that is very much in the deep, deep recesses of the lore. But because of that, after the birth of the Iron Star, or what locals would call BIS, so the year is 1120 BIS, that is where they refer to it as the birth of the Iron Star, and every season lasts 1 year.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Main history, start to now.
Ooh, shit, man, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay. All right. Here we go. Diving into this one. All right. So, before the birth of the Iron Star, it was a very strange, convoluted timeline. Energies were ebbing and flowing, and there was the old gods. There was the giants, the krakens, and the giants.
Dragons. You said giants twice.
Did I really?
Yeah,
oh my god.
We've had some alcohol.
We've had a couple of drinks. Okay.
I know what
Before the birth of the Iron Star, there was the giants, the krakens, and the dragons.
I got you. I played this game. I know.
So it is heavily debated among scholars or religious figures what happened before the birth of the Iron Star. Now, there are still worshippers of these old gods, but it is believed amongst that community that the giants molded and shaped the earth. It was the krakens who filled this shaped earth with water and life. And then it was dragons who held dominion over the sky and filled the world with magic. So, if we think about it from this sort of creationist ideology, giants like molded the world from clay, and then you had the krakens who filled it with details and people, and then dragons who gave it life and magic and vibrancy. So the three of them were essentially known as the old gods: the krakens, the dragons, and the giants.
Very nice.
Thanks.
Very nice.
Oh shit, we got to go up until now.
Yep.
So, again, it is heavily debated, and there's all these different conflicting lores about what happened up until the birth of the Iron Star. The only thing that people would agree on is that there is this shift in energy that happened. Whether it was monster or man, it seemed as if there was this collective energy that started to pull into these two groups. Those, the group of righteousness and morality and I don't like how you're doing this.
Good people.
The essential energies of those who tried to do good were called dorm-blooded. So there was dorm blood. And then those of malice and spite and fear and anger and rage and just everything that would be conceived as evil pulled into Scourge, or what is called Scourge. So there was Dorm and Scourge blooded. Well, the Scourge blood managed to taint one of the gods into creating this amalgamation of a giant, a kraken, and a dragon into one just demonous beast called Malthak Rogar. And Malthak Rogar started the rebellion amongst all the old gods, and at the penultimate showdown between Malthak Rogar and the old gods, this is all again through bard songs and stories, that Malthak Rogar was put to sleep by the rest of the old gods, and as he crashed into the earth, his tail split the continent in twain. Thus we have the split.
And how deep is the split?
Oh, it goes way down, bro. It goes way down.
Like 40 to 50 feet
Like,
deep.
no, more.
Miles.
That's more accurate.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I gotta go and get to work, but I'll catch you guys later. Much love.
Appreciate you.
Maxa, cheers. Love you, brother.
My wife actually asked, how old is the kingdom?
Kingdom's pretty damn old. The current year, I have to pull up my notes at this point. Again, I have written this.
Sorry, I'm asking, like...
How dare you?
How cool is that map, though?
Oh, I love my map. So, the current year is 1290 BIS, or AIS after the Iron Star, yeah. ABIS. There are some who think that the realm of Jarlheim is over 20,000 years old.
Okay. And when did the split happen?
Some believe that the split happened somewhere around minus 12,000.
Okay. So it's been 12,000 years since the split.
Supposedly.
Yeah. When you say low magic, do you mean as in magic is incredibly rare and seen as a taboo and or too dangerous, or more like it's weak, scarce, and no one really cares to give it attention?
A little bit of both. Magic in this setting, magic is very much something that is a rarity.
Which leads into my next point about magic.
And depending upon what sort of practitioner of magic you are, depends on how you are perceived by the society around you.
And that might lead into this question: the rules
Yes.
of magic. Are there limits? Is there a price physically to use magic? Is there a difference between magic and miracles? Where does magic come from? how do they cast spells, and can magic be taken away? Is magic even allowed?
So there is a difference between divine magic and miracles and arcane magic. It is still called in this setting. It is called arcane weave, and that is magic. Now, the practitioners of magic vary greatly. Wizards, that's pretty much a student. That is someone who has studied magic. They have worked very hard. Do you want to zoom in on
Reese and Diathir?
Reese?
Oh, I can't go. I can only go that.
Okay. Well, damn it. Yeah. So you can see kind of on there, but we'll post this in our Discord. But you can see in the far in the So, Reese and Diathir is essentially where wizards study their craft. There's very limited amounts of schools that you can study within that academy. You can't study evocation. You cannot study necromancy. The most common studied school of magic within Reese and Diathir is divination. So the wizards from Reese and Diathir, they're typically used as like diviners. They're people who are trying to see distant lands, maybe perceive a little bit of the future, maybe trying to see some of the past, but that's what they're used for. Warlocks, straight fucking heretic shit, man.
Which is my next point. Wizards, sorcerers, warlocks.
Warlocks.
How are they viewed?
That's heretic shit, man.
Okay.
You called upon some sort of dead deity or demon or whatever. Yeah, you're likely gonna, if you're discovered, you would likely be summarily executed.
Which Reese and Diathir kind of hits the point of, are they organized?
Yep.
What is the cost to stay a magic user?
Yep.
How do religions view magic?
There is a holy order in the world. Give me a moment and I will tell you exactly what they're called. Because there is a completely new religion. The old gods are really no longer worshipped, but instead the realm of man worships what's called the Sanctus Novum, the gods of nine. So there are 9 deities who are worshipped outright amongst mostly humans.
Yeah.
Mostly. So humans worship these 9 gods, and there are 9 of them. There's the Gateman, who is the god of death and travel and balance. The Maiden, who is of love and passion and loyalty. The Howler, who is of chaos, change, and war. The Eudix, who is of law, order, and devotion. The Shade, who is of secrecy, darkness, and fear. The Solarum, who is of honesty, light, and courage. The Forger, who is of creation, cunning, and strength. The Jester, of wine, revelry, and song. And finally, the Druid, of weather, nature, and rebirth. So, the Sanctus Novum typically views wizards pretty favorably. Like, okay, you
studied.
You studied, and you are as if to be like as if the voice of the 9 in a way. Mm-hmm. Warlocks, you probably getting executed, probably.
Sorcerers?
Now, sorcerers are a bit different. Most of them try to stay in hiding because they are innately magical in some way with their bloodline. If not, they may be taken and studied, interrogated, or experimented on.
Okay. Let's see here. Religion and gods, you covered that.
Yep, thank you.
Populations?
Oh,
what are
boy.
the population points? Like, what are the big hubs of...
So there are cities, there is a capital, but there are the different jarls of the different areas. Actually, I have to pee really fucking bad.
Totally fine.
Oh my god,
I have to pee after you're done.
Good.
What does it take to be a Jester Cleric? You don't want to be a Jester Cleric. That's a bad time. Let's go Jester. In Devin's previous campaign, we actually had some stuff happen with the Jesters. It was actually fucking terrifying. We've dealt with the Howlers as well. Yeah, there's a lot of scary shit within Devin's campaign. Which, by the way, look how cool this map is. Look how cool that is. So in our previous campaign, we actually went here. We spent some time down here. We went through here, 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 and here, here. We've... Do any of the PCs want to be a warlock? I would love to see that character arc. My wife has been debating, because my wife loves warlock. I'm a paladin. She's a warlock. She loves the idea of a warlock. She's a great warlock player. It's just, it's fun to play that conflict of like, I'm a paladin, you're a warlock. We're not going to get along. We're not going to see eye to eye on anything. But we kind of have to write it in like, this is why you're with us. You know something that is beneficial towards our quest. So that's the only reason you're still alive. But she plays a great warlock. Tag in!
Where'd you leave off?
I was talking about warlocks.
Oh, warlock. Oh, yeah.
And my wife.
They want to, you know, worship old gods. And they're typically, if discovered, their pacts, depending on who they make the pact with, will reflect those powers. But they are not seen favorably amongst my specific world. Milkcourt Mormon. Milkcourt Mormon. I don't know. Yeah. Kind of sucks having to do this on the damn web browser, but it's fine. Hi, welcome back.
Welcome back. Still a piece of garbage.
Hey, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
This whole fucking thing with me. All right. We've covered a lot of shit. Governments.
Aha.
What basic style of government? Feudal, aristocratic, oligarchy, absolute ruler, democracy. Like, what is the...
So it is a kingdom. There is a king, a ruling king. I'm not going to really give too much in the way of like what's happening immediately right now because I want to try to avoid spoilers. But if we look at my map right now, you can see that up in
zoom in on it.
Fangor Highland is the capital. That is where the king resides. And then there is Jarl Lords, who are basically wardens of the king and an extension of his power. They are in these various different areas. There is the swamps of Stombaugh. There is Centris. There is Rissendiathir, Pondalus, Scarum, and Whitehold. Those are all the major Jarl Lords of Jarlheim.
Good question. What races live in the world?
So the more predominant races that you're going to find in Jarlheim are going to be obviously human, elves, and dwarves. Those are the three main races that you would find within this realm. Now there are certainly some others. You are going to find very few halflings. You're going to find a couple of gnomes, and you will see some dragonborn and tieflings. Those are exceedingly rare, which is why I typically say if someone's going to play those races, they need to justify them to me in a very, very detailed way. But mostly the predominant races, human, dwarf, elf. Those are the ones that everyone is used to. It's one that those are three that everyone is just very used to from a historic standpoint. Everyone just knows that that's what's been around for thousands of years. So that's what's the norm.
Are the old gods' whereabouts unknown?
Aha, they are.
Okay.
Yeah. After the death of Malthak Rogar, magic in general and very monstrous, mystical, mysterious beings just began to die out. It just happened. After his death, for whatever reason, it seemed as though a lot of different magics, monsters, mystical creatures, exotic races, they all just went dormant and died out. So that's why eventually when man came to Jarlheim, that's just what was normal there, was dwarves, elves, and humans.
Yeah. Fangorn Highland, capital.
Yep.
You have the Wolf Wall.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Wolf Wall?
So Wolf Wall is basically the largest protective structure protecting the capital. It is called Wolf Wall because on the back side of the wall, facing into the capital, if you're sitting in the Sapphire Keep within the capital and you look towards Wolf Wall, you can actually see this gigantic mural of two wolves meeting at the mouth of the opening for Wolf Wall. So
very nice. Very pretty.
Thanks.
And then you have some smaller towns. Can you tell us about the West Trap and the East Trap?
Yeah, so you've got a lot of smaller towns over here.
High Barrow, Low Barrow.
High Barrow, Low
Rice
Barrow,
Point.
Lay, Valdwin, Port Whitley, Kraken Cove. The only thing I like to really point out in some of these is that people do visit the Glittering Isles, but they do know that it is dangerous. There's a lot of dangerous wildlife. There's a lot of dangerous privateers who frequent into the Glittering Isles. And additionally, there is a organized crime sect here in Low Barrow called the Low Barrow Bandits, which you're familiar with.
I am familiar with. And the traps are...
People aren't exactly sure what the traps are. All they know is that there is lords who are charged with watching over them. But you have the West Trap and the East Trap. They have lords that watch over them. No one's exactly sure what they are, but they are known as these very large, grandiose statues that can be seen from miles away.
Okay.
So on the West Trap, you do see this female warrior. She rests at the top of the statue holding her shield at her waist and a spear in her hand. People aren't exactly sure what it is. It's very old and worn down. You can barely see the face anymore. And on the East Trap, you do see a dwarf holding a very large battle axe. But it's, yeah, people aren't exactly sure why is it called a trap. Trap is also a synonym for like a hovel, a hold.
Old enough to not be fully understood.
Yeah, old enough to not be fully understood. Trap could also be just used as like another synonym for like a holdfast or a castle. Not a castle, but basically like a fortress. Even though there is no direct way to actually use it as a fortress.
Now, if you wanted to go west to east, you have to go through Daymore Pass.
Correct. You have two different methods of travel in order to get across the continent. You have one, which is Daymore Pass. Daymore Pass is dangerous as fuck.
Yeah.
You can see here that this mountainous region called the Jaws is a extremely dangerous way to try to pass. It is these jagged, sharp, difficult mountainous region to try to get through. even though it doesn't look like much, it takes almost 2 weeks to get through Daymore Pass, and that's with just on horseback.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's not fun. So it's very difficult to get through. It's a treacherous mountain pass. There is rumors of monsters or some sort of extremely dangerous wildlife up in Daymore Pass. The more popular method to get through is to go to Kraken Cove to Port Whitley, and then take a ship going all the way back over to the Salt Shore. From there, you can get to Salt Shore, and you can go to the rest of the continent.
What can you tell us about Centris?
Centris is a very popular city. It is the trade hub of Jarlheim. This is where people come from all over to trade goods, to do exchanges. This is where coin is exchanged in incredible amounts in Centris.
Well, you see so many different
Correct.
cities and towns nearby.
Yep, nearby. So Centris is a huge hub for travel and trade. There is some rumor of black market there. Some if you're looking for perhaps not so legal purchase of some sort of either item, good, service, probably find it in Centris.
Trey had a good question. Grave of Anchors, is that just a treacherous area for ships or something else?
So it's actually been, unfortunately, the downfall of the swamps of Stamba, which is one of the Jarl Lord's homes. The Grave of Anchors has been, unfortunately, just deemed too dangerous to travel via ships. Every ship who has tried to travel there after a certain time period, they just wreck. They are never seen or heard from again. There are adventurers who have wanted to try to make their way to the Grave of Anchors to plunder those ships for their goods and treasures. None have returned.
So do common folk between the East and the West not interact much, then? I can't imagine chartering on a ship is cheap.
It is not.
So it's very much boom, boom.
Yeah. It is very difficult to travel across from either side of the Jaws.
Do merchants try to go through the Jaws?
The merchants are the only ones who are brave enough to try to get through Daymore Pass or try to barter travel from Salt Shore over to Port Whitley. So typically what you're going to see is if anybody wants to get any sort of like actual trade or business done, they'll come to Centris. They'll get their goods. They'll get their payload. They'll then travel from Centris, come over here to either Ram's Head or Narme, travel south, get to Salt Shore. Salt Shore, barter travel from there over to Kraken Cove.
Sell as they go.
Take the Honor Road up to the Ley Road, and then up to Fangor Highland.
And then what can you tell me about Basilisk Bridge? It looks like the only way north to south.
So that is, in fact, the only method of travel physically on land to get from the South Cag to the North Cag is Basilisk Bridge. Much as the name implies, it is in the shape of this gigantic basilisk. It is separated from levels. So on the top level is where all the merchants and people who live on the bridge, they live on the top level, while the bottom level of the basilisk, underneath like its belly, is where you see typically a lot of wagon travel, horse stead. All that is done on the underbelly of Basilisk Bridge. Unfortunately, there has been rumors that it seems as though Basilisk Bridge may be beginning to fail from a construction and infrastructure unfortunately point of view, that it's not looking so good as of late.
There's not like a pyramid there, is there?
I need you to shut the fuck up.
Airship or air travel possible?
There's not. That has not been technology that has been explored.
Pondalus. What can you tell us about Pondalus?
Woo! So Pondulus is the main. Pondulus is the only Jarl land holdings that has the gold mines. In the nearby city of Mascus, they actually mine the gold into the split, where they take the scaffoldings down into the split. They mine gold. They take it back to Pondulus for processing and minting and turning into coin. Yeah. And it's actually where the soldiers hold lordship, not the other way around.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what are they called?
They're called gold spears.
Mm.
So if you see an individual who is wearing very extravagant clothing, but they have a gold spear on their back, that motherfucker knows how to fight.
Yeah. Okay. Don't fuck around.
Don't fuck around with them. If I can give a comparison, if you want to think of
Unsullied.
No. I want you to think of Martel.
Oh, okay.
Oberyn Martel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're badass.
They are extremely proficient fighters with spears. They're wealthy, and they buy a lot of influence in Pondulus.
Did the split get flooded since it cuts ocean to ocean, and does anybody know what's down there?
Nope. No one knows. It is miles deep. No one knows.
Could there be water?
Maybe.
There could be. And then another one of the Jarls, Whitehold.
So Whitehold is where the largest congregation of dwarves is. So with Whitehold, that is where a lot of the masons, weapons crafters, and the surly dwarves reside, is within Whitehold.
In the mountains.
In the mountains, up north. It is the Whitehold is specifically built within the mountain range of the Jaws. The dwarves were the only ones who were able to build their keep within the mountain region of the Jaws.
Okay.
So it is a winding city that is multi-tiered and leveled, just going all the way up and down.
And then he said, Trey asked Stormdall.
Aha, Stormdall. Stormdall is one of the very few of the ports on the North Cag. So if someone wants to take trade goods to the North Cag, they got two options. They can either take the Basilisk Bridge, or they can go from, typically what they do is go from Salt Shore, sail north along the east coast. Maybe they'll make a pit stop in Ulwim, but then they will continue north going all the way around, and they will finally make their way to Stormdall.
And then how dangerous is it sailing next to Dalhammon Forest?
Extremely. Any of this area up here that you do see, like, this is all wild territory.
Yeah.
You have a couple of cities, Chibber, Cloud Hall. You have the Dury Way Road. Like, all that is technically safe to travel on. But any of these open areas, you're going to run into a myriad of just wild tribes. Wild folk who live within the forests, who live far beyond the reaches of any Jarl. And then Dalhammon Forest itself, extremely dangerous to travel in.
Okay, I see it's fogged over.
Oh, yeah.
Is that pretty common?
That's normal.
Oh, we got a first-time chatter.
Hey, what's happening? I love that you're getting to share all of this. Been working on my world for years now, and probably the worst thing is not being able to share as much of it as I'd like. Great, Denny Gaming. Thank you so much. To a fellow world builder, welcome. Glad you're here.
Appreciate you being here. Been lurking for about an hour. Hell yeah!
Cheers and welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
You want another one?
Do we need to call it?
We're getting kind of close, but we're chatting about lore. What about the White Wastes? Tell me about the White Wastes.
No one's been there for thousands of years.
Interesting. Even though it's, I mean, there's no real way to get to it.
There's no way to get to it. You can try to you could try to go sail this way. However, anyone, even the master sailors from Katilkar, they will tell you sail around White Waste if you want your ship to survive.
And then Goblin Claw Island.
Saforzy 4-stud says I'm a goat, touch it.
Loving the map and the lore.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Glad you enjoy it. So Katilkar is this is the hub for the Royal Navy.
Oh, okay.
So the actual lord, his younger brother, is the admiral of the fleet. Mm-hmm. He trains sailors here. He builds his ships here. The Royal Fleet literally is
away.
Away. Yeah, they're being built and constantly trained, and they're here at the ready.
Okay.
An interesting point of discussion is that admiral, Admiral Early, has been asking the king for new ships for quite a few years now.
Okay.
Saying the old ships, they're not any good anymore. We need to upgrade. We need to get new ships. We need to refresh what our fleet looks like.
Okay. Trey asked a good question here. Are there goblins, or is it named after a long-lost race?
It's named after a long-lost race. Goblins haven't been seen in thousands of years. There hasn't been any monsters. People don't even know what the hell, like,
an orc is.
Yeah, no. People don't know what that is. So to them, Goblin Claw, they just take that off of old lore. They take that off of the stories of old maids who are trying to get kids to eat their vegetables. They tell stories like that.
Wait, so no goblin orgies on Goblin Claw Island? Boo!
Goblin Fantasy Island.
Singles weekend. Goblin Claw.
Welcome to Goblin Claw.
Is there anything else you would like to talk about the world map? Where do we begin?
We're going to beginning in Fangor Highland.
Okay. How excited are you to actually start? This was actually a super good night. Like, I was not expecting this much turnout.
I was
this
not
many
at all.
people getting interacted in.
Not
like,
at all.
You guys are great.
Thank you all for being here.
Can I get a
There's enough in here.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right.
Can I just say how much it warms my heart to see other people this interested in D&D? And like our D&D campaign that we're going to do on stream.
So you want to know a little bit about maybe what the game's going to be?
Give me a teaser. Tease me. Get your notes out.
I got you.
Wish I would have found you earlier. I'll keep up with you. Back on for sure. Great day. Thank you. Super appreciates you.
Thank you.
We're super excited to actually start our D&D campaign. It's been the goal since the beginning. We are the D&D bros.
You know, just trying to really make sure this shit makes sense for everybody.
Oh, we have a 30-second ad, so...
Can we snooze it, or is
I
it...
snoozed it 3 times.
Oh, then never mind. We'll wait for that to be done, but I'm gonna read this.
I would make a druid in this setting 100%. Still dying to play a villain campaign. Tony, you be nice.
Knock it off, Tony. I love
My
you.
paladin won't allow it. It's gonna be real awkward for everybody. 6, 5, 4.
No, we're good, man.
3,
No worries.
2, 1. Fucking love druids. Druids for the win.
Everybody loves druids, man, for a good reason. Who doesn't want to turn into a dragonfly?
Me, I want to fucking smite a dragon.
I know what you want to do.
Yeah, I play a good paladin.
I know you do.
I'm so excited for this campaign.
You want my teaser?
Yeah.
Is evil truly evil? If a man is to defend his homeland, is he evil? Or is he doing what is just and right? What if a person is to defend their very reality? What if the very fabric and air that you breathe was under attack? Perhaps the person walking down the very roads, seeing the leaves, hearing the wind blow, the whistle of the wind, the clouds in the sky, the sounds of the animals and insects all around you. What if there was a threat that some force, some being, meant to unmake every last one of them? Nothing is scary, and yet nothing can be terrifying. For what is your world if it is nothing? If you were to wake up and find that everything you held dear, everything you knew, everything you know, everything you love, everything you hate, everything you despise, everything you covet and hold close to your being, what if it was unmade, pulled from your memory, as though some thread from a spool? Could you defend it? Would you defend it? I guess we'll see. Whether they be monsters or men with malicious intent, we shall see. And we hope to see you at the live D&D stream then.
Motherfucker.
So, I think the first thing that we have to say is thank you to everyone for hanging out and asking incredible questions and just chilling with us while we talked about
D&D.
D&D
For
which
3 hours.
For 3 hours, we could have gone so much
12,
longer. We could have
at
easily
least.
have gone so many more. So please follow at these social medias down here. You see them. You know what we're doing. Follow those social channels. We hope to hear from you again. Please drop us more questions. Please drop us more thoughts. We would love to hear from all of you. And in the meantime, we'll see you in the next video. Maybe it will be more D&D stuff, and maybe it will be more video games. But we're glad to have your support either way. So thank you. I am Dungeon Master Dev.
Dungeon Master Dust.
And we'll see you then.
Bye.
Au revoir.